Index just out.
Month over month, we got a gain of 0.2%. The street was looking for a gain of 0.3%. We came in 2.8% year over year.
That is less than the 3% annual rate in January, which had continued a months-long trend of inflation creeping up, and Wall Street likes an end to that trend. We have stock futures rising after big sell-offs over worries more inflation's coming because of tariffs. So far this month, the Dow's plunged 2,500 points, and as Fox's Ryan Schmelz reports, there are new tariffs today.
A 25% tariff on steel and aluminum imports are now in effect amid economic uncertainty. President Trump backing off of his threat of a 50% tariff on Canada after Ontario Premier Doug Ford implemented a 25% charge on electricity exports to the U.S. The White House says Ford decided to pull those tariffs after speaking with members of the Trump administration.
But Canada is retaliating this morning to the new steel and aluminum tariffs, planning charges on nearly $30 billion worth of U.S. exports. The European Union also imposing tariffs on $26 billion of American goods. Russia went on the attack across Ukraine, killing at least 5 civilians, hours after Ukraine agreed to a 30-day ceasefire in talks with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who just said he'll talk to the Russians next.
If Russia says yes, that's very good news, and we will begin that process and do everything we can to move that process forward. If they say no, then obviously we'll have to examine everything and sort of figure out where we stand in the world and what their true intentions are.
The day after House Republicans approved a funding plan to fund the government ahead of a Friday deadline, House Speaker Mike Johnson tells Fox,
we have to keep the government operating, and Congress has a responsibility to do that, and Chuck Schumer has to weigh that today. And I hope he does the right thing.
Senate Democrats may force a compromise since Republicans cannot pass the bill on their own in the Senate without the help of the Democrats. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Shot near a hotel. Right now, mostly sunny, 39 degrees in the Circle City. I'm Sean Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:02. IMPD says someone was shot around 7:30 this morning outside that hotel on the south side of Indianapolis on East Street near Thompson Road. The person who was shot was rushed to a hospital and is alive. Police are canvassing the area, trying to find suspects. Bad weather looks like it's on its way to Indiana, possibly Friday.
So storms are going to be coming in from the west, probably hit the Illinois-Indiana border right around or just after sunset, and then track through the rest of central Indiana.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says the tornado threat appears low, but damaging winds could be a problem near I-65. A serious motorcycle crash where a person lost a leg Tuesday night on Indy's east side. IMPD says the crash happened just after 8 o'clock on East Washington Street. They believe the person operating the motorcycle was not wearing a helmet and had beer cans on him. A naked man arrested and charged. Police say David Messer led police in Bargersville on a chase while he was naked Monday morning while driving. It was when he got out of the car and tried to run that police got him and put him in handcuffs. Messer's charged with theft, disorderly conduct, and more. Indianapolis has a new Irish Citizen of the Year. Terry Stacy explains.
For 47 years, the Athletic Club Foundation has selected someone in the community who exemplifies the spirit of their Irish heritage to lead the St. Patrick's Day festivities. This year's Irish Citizen of the Year is Marion County Sheriff Carrie Forrestal.
Well, I never thought I'd attain that, but I know that there's the Indianapolis Athletic Club Foundation. The former awardees choose that person to succeed as the generations move by, and I've seen that person in the parade before. Didn't ever think that would be me, but I'm honored that they decided to select me.
Sheriff Forrestal was elected sheriff in 2022, 45 years in law enforcement. He'll be in the St. Patrick's Day Parade Friday. It begins at 11:30 on North Street between Meridian and Penn. Terry Stacy, WIBC Mobile News.
And with traffic at 9:04, here's Matt Bear.
And John, northbound 465, crashing 865, blocking 2 right lanes, stopping traffic back to 79th, a 21-minute delay. Inbound 65 towards downtown, stop and go traffic from 38th Street Guide Road to 38th Cass. That's because of an earlier crash. It's cleared. And then we have traffic lights flashing red in Canby, State Road 67 at Canby Road. Traffic sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. When your garage floor has stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your whole garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job looks even worse. Look, spring will be here on March 20th. For your best price of the year on your new garage floor, basement, or patio and installation this spring, please call me now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Guaranteed, a Comer & Cross concrete floor coating won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. In one day, we make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. And apply your gleaming new Comer & Cross concrete floor in 6 stages, just in time for spring. For your best price of the year on your new garage floor, basement, or patio, and installation by spring, please call me now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
Call today or visit bwindow.com. This month only, receive $400 off per window, $850 off per patio or entry door with 2.99% financing.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Lots of sunshine and mild temperatures today, a high of 73. Mostly cloudy skies heading into the overnight hours, a low of 49. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Sean Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 9:06, time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So, apparently they're doing something with property taxes today.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right now. I'm navigating the iga.in.gov website right now.
Boy, you want to talk about making something as complex as humanly possible. That's the Indiana government website.
Do you know what House Bill 1075 is?
I probably don't want to know what House Bill 1075
well,
is.
it's called property taxes. Haggard was the author.
Could be good. Oh, Haggard's fine. He's on our team. He's speaking at our rally on Monday.
It's grayed out though, so if you can't click on it, does that mean that nothing's happening with it?
I don't know. I mean, that sounds very government, right? There's something happening. I'd like to see what it is. Nope, sorry, grayed out.
Keep looking.
All right, so they're doing the Senate Bill 1. This is what's just so utterly confusing. So they're going to do amendments on Senate Bill 1 today. Of course, we talked about the 9.
What are the amendments?
And where was the update on this? When did I don't even know when they decided they were going to do this. But okay, so they're going to have amendments today. What are the amendments? Wish them the best. Who knows? You'll find out when you get there, right?
Good luck.
But then Thompson was the big the high chief over there at Ways and Means was like, this doesn't matter anyway. I'm gutting this bill and putting my own bill 1402, which, by the way, you nor anyone else will know what that says because it didn't get a hearing. That's going to become the new bill. This is why, and we'll get into this a little bit with Merritt coming up, but we did a deep dive on state happenings about this. And I said, this is what is so frustrating for people and why they don't engage with the government. Because here's how simple this should be now. Braun had 3 objectives. So Braun runs for governor. He runs, he wins. He wins in a landslide. He wins overwhelmingly. He runs on property tax reform. People said, yes, please. So he says, I want to do 3 things. I want to curb the effectiveness of the rate at which these referendums are passing because it's totally rigged against the people and in favor of the schools. I want to create an even playing field so that the get it off these primaries, get them off these odd year elections. Let's put them in the even year elections in the general election so everybody who votes is going to be knowing to vote. Okay, cool. Senate Bill 1 does that. I want to cap the rate at which bills are going up in the future. Senate Bill 1 does that. 2 of the things have been checked. 2 of the boxes that everybody voted for have been checked. There's only 1 box left to check, and that box is actual property tax relief, of which, for the overwhelming majority of people, there is absolutely nothing left in what remained of Senate Bill 1. The only thing the House Ways and Means should be discussing is, do we want to screw you or do we want to give you property tax relief? We don't need a new bill. We don't need a bigger bill. It's certainly not a better bill. We talked about in the hours I gave to it, and then I had a serious headache. I found multiple tax increases, potential tax increases in this 1402. We don't need something new. All we need is Are we going to reset your property tax rates? Are we going to give the governor are we going to support the mandate the governor was given with his overwhelming win and help you out? That should be the point of discussion. And yet we've made it some big, even more complex, more ridiculous thing that people are like, I don't have time to read that. I just engaged in the Senate Bill 1. Now there's this new thing I got to go out and read. Oh, and there's amendments today. Oh, I guess can I go to that? Am I allowed to go to that? When would I know that's happening?
It doesn't look like you can go to that today. I'm not sure. It's at 1:30 and it's room 404, and the notes are hearing only on the committee amendment. The amendment is the same as the introduced version on House Bill 1402 and is for discussion purposes only. And then they've got amendment.
Wait, go back and say that other part about 1402 again. I'll try to make some sense of that. What's it say?
The amendment is the same as the introduced version of House Bill 1402 and is for discussion purposes only.
Oh, okay, so they are. So he's introducing 1402 today. That's what is happening today.
The short description of it is local government finance.
So I guess English,
There's a PDF you
Thompson's
can open.
putting this bill in that no normal member of the public would know about because, well, it didn't get a hearing in the House. So good luck. Again, this is why people hate the government. It is a simplistic conversation right now. Senate Bill 1 is mostly fine, other than it doesn't provide property tax relief. I know that sounds weird, right? The bill about the property taxes is mostly fine that it doesn't provide property tax relief. This is what our whole rally is about coming up on Monday, and this is why everybody has to come, because these guys are deliberately making this way too hard. They're trying to gum it up. They're trying to hope they're like playing Survivor with you, outwit, outlast, outplay.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to show them on Monday at 1 p.m. at the State House that you're not going anywhere.
It looks like the amendment has to do with property tax deferral. This bill adds provisions to authorize a county fiscal body to adopt an ordinance to establish a property tax payment deferral program.
Yeah, right. So we'll wish us the best, right? English. Like what are we doing in English, people, please?
We'll find out after they tell us, right?
By the way, I got for the property tax rally, because we're going to do the live broadcast.
Yeah.
Our boy Drake is coming.
Yes, I saw that.
He's going to be our chief of security.
Is he really? Oh, good.
Podcast. He's like, I really want to help out. And I said, we need a large, intimidating figure to be there in case, because I was told, and you were told this, that apparently some of our angry red-shirted friends are planning some sort of
appearance.
They can't stand the fact that there's some people out there who actually want their property taxes fixed, and we were told, planning some sort of counter or something. And I said, well, it might not be bad to have a large, burly, intimidating individual sitting next to me.
So he's going to be there for the whole broadcast, which is from 9 until noon. Well, that's good. I was thinking about it.
Drake would have no problem throwing someone over the balcony at the 3rd floor if they got in a hand trying to harm us.
I hope it doesn't ever come to that level.
I think we'll be fine.
I was thinking about it the other day. It's kind of quiet in the hallway of the State House. Are we going to have to whisper?
No, we're going to be very loud.
We were asking about getting a PA system, and they were like, well, and we were like, what about just a little speaker so that we can monitor? Well, something quiet would be okay.
All right. Well, there's something going on with the property taxes today, and I'm sure you'll be as thoroughly disappointed as you have at every turn on this thus far. But that's why 1 p.m. Monday at the State House, you gots to show up. Okay, you got to take off work. Do it. If it's your lunch hour, go. This isn't just a protest. It's a chance to hang out and have some fun. It's a chance to hang out and have some.
Jim Merritt's going to be there.
The Locke Loffmiller guy reached out to me, by the way.
He did? What did he say?
Well, it was through Kloffenstein.
It is Locke Miller, by the way.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, you were correct.
But now I've just latched onto Locke Loffmiller's.
Okay.
He's very excited about what we're doing, and I think he's going to do something.
He's excited to have business.
Well, this is what we do. Everybody always...
He's like, come over here to this pub when you're done there.
Everybody always gets stuff off of us. We get nothing.
Right.
But I think the Locke Loffmiller guy is pretty jazzed about what we're doing, and I think he might do, I was told, maybe something special for us for the thing, so I got to call him today. But
Fantastic.
Anyway, all right, so we're off on the radio program. Hello.
Yeah.
This was not at all what you'd planned to do in the opening
No,
segment.
not at all. I was thinking that we were going to talk about how the U.S. and Ukraine called for a 30-day ceasefire.
Oh.
Subject to Russia's acceptance. However, the news just reported earlier that Russia is still bombing Ukraine, so... Somebody's got to get them on the phone.
We reject your premise. You're out of here. All right. Do you want to take a break, or do you want to get into something?
No, you know what? Somebody is having surgery today, and it's the exact same surgery that our Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith is having.
I was like, if you're going to mention this guy again, like we've mentioned him enough, but it's not him.
No, somebody else, but same exact surgery. And I believe today as well.
How exciting.
Yeah, and it's somebody that you really like.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty big deal. This is a huge deal for sports, and it's going to it's put a total batch of cold water on one of my favorite sporting events of the entire year.
All right, who is it? We'll tell you coming up from 93 WIBC.
No matter where you head on your commute, Matt Bear is there. Paris.
Les Champs-Élysées sont un véritable parking ce matin.
Warsaw.
W drodze do pracy, wyjdź trochę wcześniej.
Or Brazil.
Temos bisbilhotice no Rio de Janeiro. Não haja como turista.
Matt, these are all cities in Indiana.
Oh, that makes my job easier.
Making your commute easier. Matt Bear Traffic. Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
When is the right time to file for Social Security? Well, that's a difficult decision today. You have to consider that Social Security is running out of money. You also need to consider the tax hit on your benefits and your IRA and 401k withdrawals. And finally, you should consider your spousal benefits. If you don't consider all these things, you could leave a lot of money on the table.
Bill Demery, your retirement guy. He's going to show you how you could get the most income from Social Security with a free, customized Social Security analysis. So if you've saved more than $200,000, but you've not yet filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, my retirement guy. He should be your retirement guy. 317-648-5120.
From a fast break to recovery, Indiana hospitals are here for every Hoosier, regardless of their ability to pay. That's why we're teaming up with legislators on a winning playbook to lower costs and protect access to care across our communities. Because good policy doesn't leave anyone on the sidelines. Learn more at HoosierLifeline.com.
Paid for by the Indiana Hospital Association. Looking for a cozy spot to relax, work, or grab your coffee to go? LC Coffee House in Noblesville, Indiana has you covered. Try our indulgent affogato, a sweet blend of espresso and ice cream. Or sample our coffee flights to discover your perfect brew. In a rush, our drive-thru is ready to serve you fast and fresh. Need a space to collaborate? We offer meeting rooms perfect for co-working. Whether you're grabbing a quick drink or spending the day with us, LC Coffee House is the place to be.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Life is busy enough without plumbing problems. That's why you need an expert to fix it right the first time. Plumbing may not be pretty, but we're pretty darn good at it. And we'll always give you honest advice at a fair price. That's the LD Smith Plumbing Promise. Call today for $50 off any plumbing repair, big or small.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Divorce changes your life and the lives of your children. This change can be good or bad. The outcome depends greatly on the attorney that you choose. So interview more than one attorney. Family law experience, especially trial experience, is important, but so is temperament and judgment. Also, remember to consider Cordell & Cordell. We've been serving men in divorce for over 30 years.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
All right. Hold tight. Well, I don't
health, Rob?
You'll have to be more specific, Casey.
Tiger Woods ruptured his Achilles tendon. Casting a little doubt on his golf future, wouldn't you say?
Well, the die has long been cast on Tiger Woods' golfing future, and that is that he has no future. He is essentially a ceremonial player at this point, and that's just the Shakespearean tragedy. I mean, in a weird way, that is what Tiger Woods is. He's some sort of Shakespearean tragedy figure in which what he did from 1997 to 2008, in which he won 14 majors, is probably the greatest accomplishment in the history of sport. I mean, I think you could safely say Tiger Woods is the most dominant athlete in his sport to ever play. And I would put him above Gretzky, and I would put him above Michael Jordan, and I would put him above Babe Ruth, and I'd put him above Muhammad Ali. He was so much better than everybody else in his field. And yet, because he had so little personal self-control, that the greatest thing for Tiger was he mentally owned every player that he stepped on a golf course with. You knew he was going to win. You just knew Tiger Woods was going to win if he was in contention, and he would will himself to victory. And the guy he was playing knew that as well, which is why time and again, the greatest players in the world folded in front of Tiger Woods mentally. And when Tiger got into that little hey rube with the fire hydrant and the SUV and allegedly a 6-iron or whatever it was, and his now ex-wife, mentally he lost his edge and he became vulnerable for the first time. The guy won a U.S. Open on a broken leg, Casey. His leg was broke. That's how good he was. He won the U.S. Open, the hardest, most difficult golf tournament in the world. And when he became vulnerable, people looked at him and said, he's just another guy. He's really good. But mentally, we now see him as vulnerable, and he never recovered. He never recovered. He will never catch Jack Nicklaus. And I think you would have to say Tiger Woods, as weird as this sounds, will not be remembered as the greatest golfer of all time. He was for a stretch, there's no doubt. But the great tragedy of Tiger Woods is what made him the best, his great mental discipline on the golf course, his unwavering ability to focus and will things to happen. He had so little of it in his personal life that won the battle, and he ultimately will not get what his childhood dream was, which is to break Jack Nicklaus's record and be the greatest golfer of all time.
Yeah, he's putting all of his focus into one place, and that was his game. And, I mean, after all, he just had another surgery on his back in September, and it looked like, though, he was practicing to make an appearance at the Masters, even after the death of his mother that just happened. So he was still trying to focus, but he said he felt a sharp pain in his left heel. And he actually had surgery yesterday for the ruptured Achilles.
Well, one of the things about Tiger Woods, and this was, a lot of people were critical of this in his prime when he was winning all these tournaments, and you can draw whatever conclusions you'd like to draw, but his body was not in like 05, 06, 07, was not built to be a professional golfer. Guys who hit the ball a long way are not the most jacked up dudes, because golf is about turn, it's about club head speed, and Tiger was out there looking like a pro wrestler. I mean, at one point, I remember Jim Rome, the year he lost, the U.S. Open's at Oakmont this year, which is a very famous golf course, and one of the years Tiger, one of the rare times he didn't close it on a Sunday was at Oakmont when Angel Cabrera won the U.S. Open in the mid-2000s. By the way, I think Angel, is that just right? He was a convicted felon. He is now out of prison, and he is going to play at the Masters this year, which I think will make him the first convicted felon to ever play at the Masters. Anyway, the point is, they were saying at the time, I think he was not hitting the ball well because his shirt is too tight. Like, people were looking at this going, this guy looks like something out of Muscle magazine. And ever since then, his body has just failed him time and time and time again.
Well, you got to wonder, at what point is he going to say, okay, it's been fun. Now I'm just going to enjoy my life.
Well, I think that's what he's kind of was doing.
Guys like him, though, it's so hard for him to do. They just can't walk away.
Well, and golf is a sport where for years, whether it was Arnold Palmer or Jack Nicklaus or Tom Watson, you had these almost ceremonial senior status type of guys where, hey, it's worth it to have them in these major tournaments, to wave to the crowd, for everybody to see them.
Attention, sure.
So you can play it into your 60s And look, Phil Mickelson won at 50 years old, won a PGA, so it's not out of the realm. But that's never happening. Tiger Woods is never winning another golf tournament. He probably never will be competitive in another regular PGA type event. And like, you know this. You see great things when you're young, and because you're seeing them in the moment, especially when you're young, if you have no life perspective, you don't appreciate the thing that you're seeing, and then years on in your life, you're like, wow, that was amazing, and I wish I'd have had the mental capacity to appreciate it more. Because I think about it in my life, I saw the greatest hockey player who ever lived in Wayne Gretzky in his prime. I saw the greatest basketball player who ever lived, Michael Jordan, in his prime, and I saw the greatest golfer who ever lived, Tiger Woods, in his prime. That's pretty wild, and they were all in a somewhat confined, like, they weren't all active at the same time, but they were, relatively close in a time period where we had all of these people out doing these incredible things.
You don't think? Did you not realize at the time? I mean, when I think about Michael,
I hated Tiger Woods.
When I think about Michael Jordan, you knew he was amazing. You knew he was the greatest basketball player of all time. You knew you were watching that.
Yeah, but Tiger Woods was in search of the chase. Like, basketball, can anybody like, LeBron James is the all-time leading scorer. Can anybody tell you what the number is? No, exactly.
Yeah.
Basketball's not numbers. Golf, that number 18, which is the majors, which is what matters in golf, not the wins record that Sam Snead has, which Tiger will never get that either, which is amazing. He got within one, and he's never going to catch the wins record either. But everybody knew 18. Everybody knew the number 18, and that was the Tiger chase. And yeah, I feel bad now, because as a kid, I was like, this son of a gun won again. Anybody beat this guy. Come on, this is boring. And now you realize you were seeing a level of greatness that you'll never see again in that sport, and you may never see in sport, period, in terms of being able to dominate everybody around you. And it's such a sad ending for a guy who brought so many people to the game of golf. The money these guys are making today is solely because of Tiger Woods. If no Tiger Woods, none of this is happening. The TV, all the live golfers, all of this stuff is because of this one guy. And it is, life is unfair, right? But it is somewhat unfair that a guy who did so much for golf will never get to achieve the thing that was his driving force from the time he was 2 or 3 years old. And he'll never get to hold it. He'll never get to achieve it. And no matter what he sells publicly, there's a certain emptiness about him because he was so driven by that.
He didn't get there.
Yeah.
I was curious to see what the recovery time was for an Achilles tendon surgery. And you got to have a cast or a little knee scooter where you prop your knee up on that thing and wheel around. Physical therapy, 6 to 8 weeks post-surgery.
Yeah. So, realistically, and it sounds like it went pretty well. The U.S. Open is in June. He might, but he can't walk. He has a iron leg.
Yeah.
People, the man has an iron leg to begin with. This is not some normal guy. It's the bionic man at this point. He is the bad guy Terminator at this point, right? It's horrible for golf because Tiger Woods just being in any tournament instantly creates a buzz because, as we've talked about, it's the same thing with Caitlin Clark. The niche sport, of which golf still is and always will be, the niche sport needs the larger-than-life figure to drive the conversation. And while Scottie Scheffler is a great player, and Rory McIlroy is a great player, and DeChambeau is a great player, they do not drive the universal sport and universal societal conversation like Tiger Woods. He's the only guy capable of doing that. And the sponsors of the Masters, there are probably several of them who you need to keep them off the roofs of tall buildings today.
Well, Scheffler really drove the conversation when he was arrested.
Yeah, but that's because the guy went to the pokey.
That's what it takes, though, right?
You know who's never been to the pokey is John, that I'm aware of is John. Herrick, you ever been to the pokey?
No.
Okay.
I have not.
There we
He
go.
was quick with that answer. He's up next with the news on 93 WIBC.
What a day.
You're working too hard.
We're both working too hard with even less to show for it.
What's this?
It's the bills for Tracy's procedure.
This is outrageous.
I know. And Mom just said her prescriptions went up again.
How can working people afford this?
These medical bills are crushing our finances, and these hospitals and insurance groups are making record profits.
You know, I read Indiana has the 9th highest healthcare costs in the nation, and prescription drug costs are out of control.
That's why I voted for Mike Braun. He has a plan to reform Indiana's broken healthcare system. Braun's plan calls for billing transparency, increased access, and lower costs for all Hoosiers.
I hear you. It's good to know help is on the way. Mike Braun's plan will offer real relief for our family budget.
Sign the petition for Braun's healthcare plan at HoosierHope.org. Join Mike Braun's fight for healthcare reform today. Paid for by HoosierHope.org. 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
It didn't work, but can they learn from it? A mostly sunny sky, 41 degrees in downtown Indy, all clear on your radar. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:30. A tornado drill in 2 counties failed on Tuesday, but forecaster Cody Moore at the National Weather Service says the failures were still a success because of their timing.
Yeah, that's exactly why we're doing these tests, to make sure everyone can get their alerts. I would say the test was still successful because we were able to find areas where we need to make sure our sirens are working.
County leaders in Marion, Monroe, Hancock, and Putnam counties all confirmed issues with their tornado sirens and are looking into the problem. Another test in Marion County is supposed to be administered on Friday. President Trump's tariffs on steel and aluminum are now in effect. The tariffs are 25% on metals that come into the U.S. from any country in the world, including allies. It's expected to raise the cost for U.S. automakers and other industries, although the move is supported by many American steel and aluminum manufacturers. A missing woman has been found alive after surviving 6 days in a car that had crashed in northwest Indiana. Her name, Brianna Cassell. This was her mother after hearing the news.
I'm so glad she was found alive, and I just can't wait to hug her and kiss her.
Cassell was flown to a hospital in Chicago and is recovering. And your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. You're probably wondering if the Dow and all the other metrics can rebound after a tough start to the week, and so far they are. The Dow is up 233 points to 41,707. The S&P is up 55 points to 5,632, and the NASDAQ is up 284 points to 19,682. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Cold weather brings hot savings at Tom Roush Lincoln. Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $12,000 off and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. So get in on those hot savings at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 61,695. Offers good through March 31st, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place is a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
If you reach back in your memory, a little bell might ring about a time that once existed when money was...
So we learned a lot in that property tax hearing last week. Let's talk to a guy who knows, who speaks English from all the things that they said. You can
translate?
You can translate it into English because that was 9 hours of nonsense. Jim Merritt, hello.
Robert.
It's the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. All right, so we got to start with this. It was 9. You ever have a 9-hour hearing? You ever do a night when you were a senator for 30 years?
I remember a 7-hour, but not a 9-hour.
Very
long.
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 Took Casey's whole day.
Yeah.
I quit after 4. I said, let me know. Yeah. Something crazy happens.
I stuck in there.
Yeah. Well,
I was going to see it through.
Well, a lot of people, it's just been recently where committee hearings have been streamed. And
right.
So for a good part of my committee, the only way the public could really see it is by attending.
In person.
Yes. And so times change, and I'm sure you went home and watched the rest of it online, right?
Well, I watched all of it online.
Okay.
And then I quit at 5:30. But one of the things that came out of this, there were so many things, and Casey and I spent a whole show on it the day after, but they get into this long conversation. At one point, I think it was Ed Delaney, starts talking about how many levels of local government there are, how many local government entities there are. It was like over 2,800. And he's lamenting this. And I'm sitting there just like, the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's pointing at the television.
Yes.
That is me. And I'm going, 20 years ago, Mitch Daniels gave the General Assembly, you were there, a document, a blueprint, bipartisan.
Absolutely.
Kernan Shepard, former Democrat governor, Republican Chief Justice. Let's reform local government. Okay, here's the thing. And everybody just was up in arms, the local government people, and the state did nothing. And now here we are all these years later, and they're complaining about the same thing that was front and center 20 years ago and how much it's costing the people of the state.
Boy,
why didn't you do something about this?
Well, first of all, that kind of derailed the committee hearing and got away from really what was the whole idea of cutting property taxes, making it simple. And
but it's impossible to do when you have the Mooresville superintendent getting up there going, the lights might go out in Mooresville if you provide property tax relief. Yeah. Or this goofy, was it Lafayette?
The
trustee who is going, we could lose 7 firefighters. Now, you mean you're going to fire 7 firefighters, or you're not going to hire 7 firefighters? Oh, we're not going to hire 7. I mean,
right.
The government is the local governments are totally out of control.
And they got away from everything assessment. And that's what this is all about. And when we had an actual constitutional amendment where we had the 1, 2, 3%, and we did not handle assessment reform, and it's so subjective that the guy down the street could sell his home for $200,000 more than yours is worth, and all of a sudden you're affected by it. That committee hearing completely got away from what people are interested in being gouged by high property taxes. And when you talk about Senate Bill 1, which is what we're talking about in the House Ways and Means Committee, chaired by Representative Jeff Thompson.
Do you know him?
Yeah, we've been friends. I sat next to his dad in the Senate when I was 6 years old.
Well, he's there today because you sat next to his dad when you were 6 years old, and that's why he's in the position he's in. And that's why this. Did I say all that out loud? Oops. Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Well, the bottom line here is we're getting away from the treacherous assessment process in the state of Indiana. And our friend, former Representative Tom Saunders, said it very, very clearly so long ago. You have to, if you're going to tackle the 1-2-3%, the issue of property taxes, you have to tackle assessment as well. And the idea of talking about local government, I tried in my own little way with the Kernan Shepherd report of taking 9 township fire departments in Marion County and putting it all in the Indianapolis Fire Department, and I lost. I did lose.
You tried.
I lost. I tried. Lost that bill 23-25.
Wasn't it Ricky Bobby that said if you ain't first, you last?
Yeah.
But you tried.
Yeah. But
Okay,
I'll admit it.
You mentioned 1-2-3%, and one thing that did come out of that hearing was that the 2% and 3% bucket don't seem to be pulling their weight compared to the 1%, which would be the homeowners.
Right. And all this started with a lawsuit up in St. John, Indiana, and that really kind of guided the legislature. That has to be fair. But as Abdul pointed out on State House Happenings that you'll be able to listen to soon on Sunday mornings at 7:30, we will we're the 1-2-3. There are communities that don't have the heft of the 2-3 with the apartments and with the commercial assessment that the homeowner, the resident, which is the 1%. Get socked with it. And somehow, some way, we need to make assessment fair, not more fair, but fair in the state of Indiana.
Jim Merritt, our guest. Okay, so I got to ask you a thing because Thompson, you mentioned Thompson.
Yeah,
and he's
what's
been
the
there.
thing?
Yeah,
Robert?
well, he's been there since the earth was young, and his old man was there since the earth was young. It's like the royal family over there.
His father served in the House as well.
That family is doing about as much damage as the royal family is doing to the UK. Did I say that out loud again? Sorry. So Thompson gets up in this hearing, and they're hearing all these people there for the Senate Bill 1, and finally he's just like, well, we're going to hear Senate Bill 1 today, but then I'm going to take this bill 1402 that nobody's heard of or knows anything about. I don't even think it got a hearing on the House side, and I'm going to strip Senate Bill 1, and I'm going to insert this bill in. And everybody's like, what is this bill? Then you go to try to read it. Casey tried to read the digest.
The summary alone is like
it was a Dickens
long.
novel.
Yeah.
The digest, the thing that's supposed to be simple, was something Edgar Allan Poe could have penned. And you're looking at this going, no normal person will be able to read this, comprehend it, process it, understand it. I got to about page 50 and said, that's it, I'm out. I can't. And I know how to read this stuff. And this is why people hate their government. So we went through all this big rigmarole on one in the Senate. We're really only talking about one thing at this point, which is, do people deserve property tax relief or don't they? The rest of Senate Bill 1 is largely okay. And now he's going to totally complicate this thing with this 200-page bill that nobody's read.
Well, and also, this is really why, and this happens, this isn't just Representative Thompson. It was his bill, 1402. There's a lot of confusion. And luckily, he didn't take a vote on what used to be Senate Bill 1. And just looking at from being a former state senator, it totally blurs it. The members of the Senate took a lot of grief for passing Senate Bill 1 in committee and then on the floor with what it changed Senate Bill 1 incredibly. And so you've got senators who want Senate Bill 1 as is. It passed this Indiana Senate. And now you've got 1402 out there hanging around and
lurking.
And what ladies and gentlemen, what is happening right now is the legislature's treading water on this bill because they don't know what the fiscal forecast is going to be for the next 2 years, and what they're really dealing with right now is how we can give a rebate or how we can take care of those people who are gouged by property taxes, and it would be in a form of a credit or a rebate or homestead credit. But they're right now waiting for April to see what the economy is going to do in a forecast for the next 2 years so they can set their budget.
All right, I want to read you a headline because you've been bringing up the forecast, and this came out on March 10th. So
is this a gotcha moment,
just
Robert?
a couple days ago.
She's pretty dirty, so I wouldn't put anything past
This is
March
the headline.
10th.
Indiana financial chief says state in good fiscal shape.
Oh, and you were right, Merritt.
Yeah.
So Elise Nishala came out, and she said it's good to be a Hoosier, financially speaking.
Well, the people that...
Has she met us?
Well,
well,
she's saying the state.
Oh,
well,
very good.
And he keeps talking about the forecast.
I'd like to introduce her to my finances and then her tell me how rosy the forecast is.
Everybody wants a rosy forecast because that is a prediction of what's going to happen in the state of Indiana. You know, we have people talking outside the state of Indiana that the country may have a recession. I don't believe that's the case. With 4% unemployment U.S. wide, it's almost full employment for our country. And so you look at it from the state, I think it's going to be a good 2 years. I think economy is going to be on rocket fuel because we're going to cut taxes nationally. And so the better off the forecast is for the state of Indiana, the better off the property taxpayer.
Okay, we got about 1 minute. You can speak to this better than anyone because you were there for 30 years. Mm-hmm. The rally is Monday.
Yes.
You're coming.
Yes.
You're wearing your green.
Yeah.
You going to join us on air?
Yeah. Huh?
You going to join us on air?
I'm going to try.
Okay,
sure.
very good.
You're going to have so many special people.
Well,
I just don't know.
You are one of the most special people to us, Jim Merritt. Well, okay, so we got about 1 minute. Can you speak to our audience about the importance of them showing up and how in person, because some people are, well, I got to work or I got St. Patrick's Day. Mm-hmm. The importance of getting there and how that impacts you as a legislator, seeing somebody in person versus email or phone call.
Well, I think it's very important. The reason why they moved the state capitol from Corydon to Indianapolis is because it, number one, allowed legislators to get on horseback to the city of Indianapolis and allow them to work there. But it also allowed people to come to the State House and make their claim. And so it's very important for that the people listening to this program and to descend on the State House in a very businesslike manner and gather. And if it's on the outside stairs of the State House or if it's inside, it is so important for you to gather there to show a thought of force, not a message of force, but obviously in a calm, reasonable manner. So yes, Robert, it's very important for people to descend on the State House to talk to their legislators.
Merritt in the Morning on Facebook.
Yes.
YouTube.
Yes.
Jim _Merritt on Twitter. Jim Merritt, thank you.
Thank you.
We're bootstrapped up and ready to go. This is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show 3:00 this afternoon. Tony Kennett will join us. Also, more Hammer and Nigel Records Madness. 93 WIBC.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. When your garage floor has stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your whole garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job looks even worse. Look, spring will be here on March 20th. For your best price of the year on your new garage floor, basement, or patio, and installation this spring, please call me now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Guaranteed, a Comer & Cross concrete floor coating won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. In one day, we make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. And apply your gleaming new Comer & Cross concrete floor in 6 stages, just in time for spring. For your best price of the year on your new garage floor, basement, or patio, and installation by spring, please call me now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
Recent talk about rising interest rates and economic uncertainty may have you wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will I get the price I need? Will it take too long? The good news, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. There's a friendly, no-pressure, experienced agent who eats and sleeps Indianapolis real estate. Call Mark Dietl. Perhaps you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Crystal and Franklin had to say about working with Mark Dietl. I was moved to Kentucky and needed to move fast. I got the Mark Dietl marketing plan and was blown away. The plan worked. I got a full list price offer in the first weekend, just like that. Mark and his team got it done. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
Think of everything you do to provide for your family. A home, food on the table, healthcare, vacations, and saving for your kids' education. It's all good as long as you're alive, but it's only a drop in the bucket of what they'll need if you die without life insurance. Buying term life insurance is not something you can afford to put off. Call the Term Lifeline now for the lowest possible rates on quality term life insurance. Term life rates are at all-time lows, and we can save you up to 70%. If you already have coverage, you could be paying too much. One call could save you thousands of dollars. We have great rates for smokers, too, or if you have health problems. Providing for today is good, but it's not enough if you die prematurely. Call the Term Lifeline today for a free quote. Protect your family and see if you could save up to 70%.
866-549-TERM. 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 That's 866-549-8376.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx, save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct, and right now it is their tax time sale where you can save big while making your home more comfortable and energy efficient. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next 2 free. No limit. Need 4, pay for 2. Need 20, pay for 10. And here's something that will make your wallet even happier. Pay no interest until 2030. Correct, no interest for the next 6 years, making it easier than ever to afford the quality windows your home needs. Oh, but wait, there's more. This month only, Universal Windows Direct is giving you an extra $500 off your home improvement project. Now, some restrictions may apply. So to get all the details and schedule your totally free in-home estimate, call Universal Windows Direct today, 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. Oh, yeah, and you can see everything for yourself on the web. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. 317-659-7574. Tell them Rob sent you.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
That can't be right.
What can't be right?
No, I don't even think that's right.
Tell me.
As much as I kind of want it to be right.
Mm-hmm. Why do you want it to be right?
Well, because then we could just rip on the guy, but I don't think that's right. I think that's got to be wrong. Somebody in the YouTube chat said Matt Gentry wants to spend $44 million on a new police station for Lebanon. There's no way that a police station costs $44 million. There's no way.
I think the one that they're breaking ground on in Westfield, the fire station, is $11 million.
You mean Carmel?
No, it was Westfield.
It's Westfield?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
$44 million?
There's no way a police station costs $44 million. That's got to be
You don't
incorrect.
think so?
I Googled it and I couldn't find anything. If somebody can show me evidence of that,
okay,
then I will gladly just maybe spend the rest of the show laughing at that guy. But we don't, no. I can't believe that's true. There's no way a police station costs $44 million.
You can't believe everything you read on the internet.
That's right.
Rob.
No, John, I need to see some proof of that. Anyway, one thing we did have.
Send us documentation.
Yeah, if you can, we will gladly, if you can point me to some link that shows a police station is going to cost $44 million, I will gladly I will give you everything
Send the PDF
that you
our
want
way.
if you... in terms of show content. But anyway, one thing we do know that happened, Trump bought a Tesla.
He did. He bought a Tesla Model S from Elon Musk, this outside the White House yesterday. He stated that he was going to write a check to purchase the vehicle in full, preferring checks over modern electronic payments. This is very much like you.
See, when I do this, people get all up in arms about I'm some out-of-touch old-timer.
Old-fashioned.
President does the same thing.
Yeah. He said that he wasn't going to ask for a discount, and he intended to pay the full price. Listen to this.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. That's beautiful. This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer.
He has no idea what he bought.
He has no idea. He praised the Tesla vehicle. He called it a great product, and he emphasized his support again for Elon Musk, who he called a great patriot. And he said that he couldn't test drive it because there's restrictions. Secret Service restrictions, unless, what's he going to do? Circles on the driveway?
Well, okay, so this sparks conversation we've had before. When do you think the last time was Trump drove an automobile?
I think it's been a long time. Golf cart, different story.
Yeah, but like an actual, he got in a car and said, vroom, vroom, me go fast.
Yeah.
Two hands at,
I mean, what? That's
10 and 2.
You got to be talking like the 80s at some point, because even then he would get in the back of a car and be chauffeured.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I would bet it has been even longer than that.
Right? Since do you think he's got a license, right?
I don't know.
Passport?
Well, he may have an actual driver's license, because you don't have to actually drive the car. You don't have to drive the car in most places to get the license renewed. Just keep it active or whatever. But if you ask Trump to operate an automobile right now,
whether it's a new Tesla or not,
it's electric. Look at this. Look at all the panels.
Look at this panel.
Must be nice. What is it? What do they cost? What do they run?
You know what? I was looking for that online, and I've seen them range. Obviously, depends on the year and the mileage. But I saw a 2017 Tesla Model S for sale for $26,000. But then there's a newer one, which is nearly $60,000.
Well, he's buying a new one. He's not buying a used. Is Trump not getting any used Teslas?
No, absolutely not. He recently bought his granddaughter Kai a Cybertruck, but he said that this Model S is going to be driven by White House staff.
He got his granddaughter a Cybertruck? For what? What did she do?
She was born, and her last name is Trump.
You know, my parents told me good luck when I graduated high school. It's a rough world out there. Hope you make it. This girl gets a Cybertruck.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. Good morning.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get zero down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,000 off select compact tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Fishers and Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota, or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
Are you ready to build your custom dream home? Joyner Homes is ready to make your dream come true. Over 18 years, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, have built hundreds of homes in central Indiana, and the best place to start is JoynerHomes.com. That's where you'll find pricing, photos of completed Joyner homes to inspire you, available home sites, and info on where you can visit their model homes, and a lot more. Be sure to check out Joyner Homes' 5-star Google reviews. Get started today at JoynerHomes.com.
Welcome to Tire Discounters.
Thanks. I gotta warn you, I drive a hard bargain.
Okay.
So let's hear your first offer.
Well, how about, with any 4-tire purchase, we'll give you a free alignment.
Man, I'm good. All right, let's do it before you change your mind.
And we'll also give you a free oil change.
Ha! I can't believe I talked you into this deal. Sometimes I amaze even myself. Don't tell accounting. But with any 4-tire purchase at Tire Discounters, you get a free alignment and a free full synthetic oil change. See store for details.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Technology Recyclers is the safe and ethical choice for your computer and electronics recycling. R2 certified, 100% landfill free, guaranteed destruction of data, and absolutely free pickups. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
Reach your fitness goals in 2025 with a 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what Indiana Governor Mike Braun has been busy doing today. Immigration and local sheriffs, how one bill is trying to make that easier on sheriffs, and how a Hoosier woman who went missing was found and how she's doing now. Those stories and more after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
An attempted rebound on Wall Street. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Dow shot up at the opening bell, but now it's down 100 points. The NASDAQ, though, is still up 230, clawing back some of the massive sell-off this month on concerns about tariffs spiking up inflation. But inflation actually eased last month. Consumer prices rose less than expected.
The Consumer Price Index rose just 0.2% last month. For the year ending in February, the CPI came in at 2.8%. Both numbers are improvements from January.
That's Fox's Ginny Casola, but there are fears inflation could creep back up because of a trade war. The U.S. put tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports this morning with the goal of getting companies to manufacture both here. Canada and the European Union are retaliating, announcing tariffs on some American products. But Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick just told Fox Business,
nothing's going to stop that until we've got a big, strong, domestic steel and aluminum capability. And by the way, he's going to add copper to that mix, too.
Shipments of American weapons and other military aid to Ukraine have resumed. The day after Ukraine, in talks with the U.S., agreed to a 30-day ceasefire in the war with Russia. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said this morning he'll talk to Russians today.
We're going to say that Ukraine is prepared to stop all battlefield activity and begin the immediate process of negotiating an enduring end to the war. And we'll see what the response is.
There's a standoff on a train in Pakistan the day after militants hijacked it, taking hundreds of passengers hostage. And we've just learned that those militants have killed some of them as they keep battling Pakistani security forces trying to free those hostages. The day after House Republicans passed a spending bill trying to avert a government shutdown before Friday's deadline. Speaker Mike Johnson tells Fox.
It's going to be great for the American people, a more efficient, effective government that uses their precious resources, their taxes, in a more responsible way.
But only one House Democrat voted for it. The rest of them opposed, saying there are cuts to key programs. Senate Democrats have leverage pushing for a compromise. Republicans need some Democrat votes in the Senate to pass the bill. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's putting pen to paper on something else. It's sunny. We've now warmed up to 46 degrees on Monument Circle. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Indiana Governor Mike Braun signed 2 executive orders this morning. One of those focuses on reducing overregulation, while the other is about creating opportunity while protecting our environment. He says Indiana will not use the concept of environmental justice in the state's permitting or enforcement decisions. More testimony is scheduled to be heard today on the amended property tax relief bill by the House Ways and Means Committee. That meeting gets underway at 1:30. The plan is subject to change, but at this point, it's expected to deliver approximately $1.4 billion in relief over the next 3 years. A House committee advanced a bill this week that would push local authorities to work more easily with ICE, allowing police in jails and prisons to be trained and deputized to carry out some immigration enforcement duties.
Rise in support of this bill. I think this bill creates a grant program that will allow those sheriff's offices that have interest in participating the avenue to do so.
Mike Bibberstein with the Indiana Sheriff's Association says the bill sets up a grant program so sheriff's offices that want to join can do it without taking on a big financial burden. A woman from Jasper was missing, but she's been found in a wrecked car. Chris Davis reports.
6 days of searching for Breonna Castle of Wheatfield in Jasper County came to an end Tuesday with a discovery by an excavation worker of a car in a farm drainage ditch near a county road near Brook in Newton County in northwest Indiana. When volunteer firefighters got there, they found Castle in the car alive. She was hurt, but she was conscious when she was loaded into a medical chopper and flown off, bound for a Chicago hospital. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A 4-point play by Tyrese Halliburton on Tuesday night lifted the Indiana Pacers over the Milwaukee Bucks 115-114. Here's his head coach, Rick Carlisle.
What a game. They don't get much closer than that. Just an amazing sequence of events.
What a shot.
The win snapped a 3-game losing skid for the Pacers, and they play Philadelphia on Friday night at 7. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 10:04, Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-518-9137. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
All right, I've done the work because you people are too lazy to do it.
Oh, yeah, that's
I've done the work.
What'd you find out since you did the work?
This entire break. Normally, I mean, it really disrupted the last 10 minutes for me. Normally, during the top of the hour break, I go for my little walk ski around the property.
Yeah, you get a snack, a beverage.
There's no one here anymore.
No.
The nice thing is there's
no one to talk to, so you actually had to work.
There's no one to disrupt my walks. But there were so many unanswered questions last hour.
Yes.
Okay, so we start with we were informed there is a property tax hearing today.
Yes, 130, room 404.
Yeah. Okay. So you were reading it to me, and it was Chinese. And this is the problem. We got into this in State House Happenings with the Duel and Merritt. The podcast will be up later today, and then obviously it runs Sunday mornings on the radio station. This stuff, the average person can't understand it. They can't even begin to understand it. Trying to even read the digest on this thing, was like Longfellow. Right? It's like it's just like it's he was an author, right? Longfellow, wasn't he?
Sounds good.
Was he a painter or was he an author?
Keep going.
No. Point is, I don't want to be wrong. People will say, Kev, can you look that up? Was Longfellow a painter or an author?
He was a poet and an educator.
Poet, thank you. See, I was right. Longfellow, I got it.
A writer.
I'm so brilliant, I doubt myself sometimes. But the point is, the average person can't understand it. They don't get it. It's done by design that way. And then you got to try to keep tabs because there's not some announcement center, even though they know people care about this, even though they know people are interested in it. You got to check every day. Are they having a hearing today? Are they having a hearing? What are they talking about? Don't know. It's in Chinese, but they're talking about something.
When did this get on the schedule?
All right. So our man, J.D. Prescott, we like him. He's a nice guy. He said that it is hearing only today. It is basically a lot of this now to the forefront. 1402 House bill,
right?
The Thompson is going to replace Senate Bill 1. It deals with this homestead credit and some other stuff. So basically a bunch of boring mumbo jumbo.
And this is not open to the public.
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Oh, okay.
I'm busy at 1:30.
I thought you were working.
Well, I got stuff to do at 1:30. I don't care. I mean, I've done enough for you people. I got to do everything for you? You want to find out if it's open to the public, call the House. They'll tell you if it's open to the public. And I was just interested in what they're going to be discussing. But it comes back to, again, we talked about this to start off the show. They are making this, and it is, again, done by design, way too complex because the property tax system is way too complex, which is why we need to be out of the property tax system. There are too many dials that have been turned. The local governments are ridiculous. I mean, you heard in that hearing last week, there's like over 2,800 units of local government in this state. There's zero reason for that. You have school corporations with, less than 1,000 kids, 2 school corporations in a county with less than 1,000 kids. Why do they have 2 superintendents? Why you could consolidate all of this? Why do townships exist? No one can answer this question. We've been at this how many months now? Nobody can answer the question. There's so much, I don't even know if waste is the right word, but it's just overlap. It's needless overlap in which these things exist for people to have jobs.
It's like having too many levels of management. And that was actually brought up in that hearing with the Ways and Means. They were talking about the school districts and how there was a smaller school district, I believe it was Adams or something, and they had 3 superintendents, while one of the largest, if not the largest school district in the state only has 1.
Yeah.
Like, what is...
This is my...
Why do you need that many levels?
And then the infuriating part of this, to bring it back full circle, is that whatever it was, 20 years ago, Mitch Daniels said the same thing we're saying now, the same thing those state reps seem to recognize in that hearing, which is your local governments, there's too much of it, there's too much overlap, there's too much inefficiency. We could save a lot of money if we could get this thing in order. Gee, Beeve, if only somebody had come up with a document on how to do that at some point. Oh, wait, they did, and it was bipartisan, in which a former Democrat governor teamed up with a former Republican Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and it was called the Kernan Shepard Report. But they didn't want to do that. The state lawmakers didn't want to take that on because they didn't want to piss off these township trustees and these local government people.
Isn't it fascinating, though, how a conversation about your property tax bill being too high has turned into this huge thing with these local governments and all of these different levels and the mismanagement of funds?
No, but it's all part of
it's
the
all tied together,
It
right?
is. It is. You can't, and so it comes back to the only way to fix this issue, and I've said this for years, is to starve the beast. When these referendums fail, do these school districts go away?
No.
Does anything noticeable happen?
No, they don't get the bright new shiny object.
Right, but in terms of the quality of education your kid receives, right? And I challenge anybody who wants to have this discussion in depth, come with me. We'll go walk the corner of Tilden and Odell in Brownsburg, and you tell me if you see any suffering that's going on. Same thing in Danville and these other places. You have to make these local governments do this. Brown Township and Lincoln Township are sitting on gobs of money where I live in Brownsburg. They have no use for it. The Brown Township trustee told me they have something like $1 million sitting in a bank account. I saw the data and asked her, and she said, yes, that's true. There's just basically nothing for them to do with it. There's no services to provide out there other than there's like a park and there's poor relief and maybe a cemetery. Everything else is already covered. Why does that unit of government exist? I'm sure she's a very nice lady. She probably does the job to the best of her ability. It's in no way an indictment on her. Same thing in Lincoln Township. Probably a hell of a nice guy. Probably does the job to the best of his ability. You don't need to exist. Not as a person, but as a government.
Right.
And you could extrapolate this all across the state. And how many hundreds and hundreds of millions, and then we're into the billions, and then you get to schools. But the whole system is broken, and they're trying to tinker here and tinker there. And that's why the Braun plan was so good, because he said, no, screw you guys. You're totally out of control. You've totally blown through all this money the past 4 years. Here's how we're going to rectify that situation, which is resetting these bills and forcing you to get your acts together. But they don't want to do that.
Well, no, now you're going to get some sort of weird Frankenstein bill. Pieces of that and pieces of this, and they're going to try and mush it all together.
Yeah. One thing else we had to clarify. I knew this. I wanted it to be true, but I said on the air, look, you got to get pretty early in the morning when it comes to local government expenditures to slip something past me. And I said, there's no way this is true. I wanted it to be true. I really, really did. But our pal Matt Gentry, he texted me. He said, we're absolutely not spending $44 million on a police station in Lebanon.
Yeah.
And, I love to rip on Matt. But Matt and I have an open dialogue. And in fairness, I rip him in our private dialogue just like I do here. And he's still very nice. He still corresponds. But he did say...
He wasn't going to let that one slide.
He said I could let people know that they are not in any way, shape, or form spending $44 million on there was some sort of study that said they could or they could spend up. They said absolutely not. They're not spending $44 million. So it's important we get it right. We want to be fair. We're going to rip people. We got to be accurate with the information that we have. And so if you're in Lebanon, you're not spending $44 million on a police station.
And you told the guy in the YouTube channel, send me the documentation of that. Do you think he was just trying to exaggerate?
I think there was
comedic purposes.
I think Matt said there was some sort of study or something they did and that's what they went off. So I think there was a kernel of truth. I don't think anybody was being deceitful. I think there's something out there that shows that could take place. Here's the thing, Case. I'm fair on my ripping on people. I seek truth, right? Like very clearly right here. If I just wanted to be an ass, I could just not have read that and let that guy continue to think they're going to spend $44 million.
Right.
But I'm very fair because there's enough that these guys do that we can rip on that we don't need to make things up.
Yeah, we don't need to
So
stretch
if you're in
it.
Lebanon, you're not spending $44 million.
Mhm.
And again, I had to do the work, all of my own volition on my break time.
You do have a big LEAP project there, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. But anyway, we want to be very fair. Okay, what are we doing? What's going on?
Well, let's talk quickly about the Department of Education. They initiated some layoffs, reducing their workforce by nearly 50%. 1,315 employees were affected by the layoffs. That's still...
How many?
1,315.
1,315?
Mm-hmm. They still have 2,183 employees remaining in the department.
Oh, so it's not like they're out of people.
Right.
They're not like the Hall & Oates song. They're not out of touch, you're out of time.
Yeah, nope. It's a riff, and it's part of the.
What, nothing, Kev? Not even a chuckle? Usually it's like.
It's a classic.
I do those things for you. I do.
I was queuing that up for bumper music.
Anyway, go ahead. There's still plenty of people in the Department of Education. I was told they're done.
Still plenty of people. Well, is this just the first step to abolishing it? So what? The Department of Education started in 1979?
Yeah,
is that right?
In the end of Jimmy Carter, yes.
Yep. And Reagan vowed to get rid of the department, but he never could because he was not able to get that past Congress. Because the agency, to be completely closed, needs the approval from Congress.
Okay, I'm not asking this question in a facetious or smart aleck manner. I do that plenty, but I'm actually not doing that. What does the Federal Department of Education do that is vital to the existence of your child's education? Like, what could not be done by a
On the state level?
or a state or local level that is done by the Department of Education?
They say they support states.
The states needs. What does that mean? I support.
They promote improvement in education.
Like I am supporting IU basketball Thursday in their game against Oregon, but I'm having no actual impact on the outcome of the game.
They improve the management and efficiency.
The federal government improves management and efficiency on anything?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I was born at night, Case, not last night.
That's what they say.
Oh, that's what they say.
These are their words.
Yeah, what are they going to say? We don't do
Not
anything?
my words.
Yeah.
Did you see that post that
Is that it?
Josh Lowry did?
That's all they do? That's it? What were the two you came up with?
I said like 3 or 4. Let's see. They support states. They promote improvements in education through research, evaluation, and the sharing of information.
So the states can't share information with each other?
Correct. Not
They
without them.
don't have email?
They improve the
telephone?
management and efficiency of federal
Fax machine?
education activities.
When's the last time you used a fax? You probably used a fax.
Oh, yeah. Late 90s.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been that long?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Well, what am I going to use a fax for now?
I used to use a fax all the time when I was on my radio station. That was in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
2010s.
you were using outdated technology.
But it worked.
It
Anyway.
sure did.
So we really can't identify anything thus far on the things you're reading that you say that could not be done. It's sort of the same argument we had about property taxes. We're not identifying anything that couldn't be done by somebody else, that couldn't already exist, that an existing layer of government couldn't say, we will take that, whatever that thing is, on if indeed that thing actually exists.
Yeah. Well, they do, they manage the Pell Grants for financial aid for undergrad students.
Oh.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So you couldn't give that to another layer of federal government that already exists? Like somebody couldn't monitor grants? There's not, of all the federal workers, there's not some agency where it's like, Harold, Louie, you guys aren't doing anything this week. You monitor the grants. That doesn't.
No, they could find someone else to do that job.
This is the point. They don't do anything. They do nothing that can't be easily duplicated. Yeah. Okay, well, let's take a break because you got this audio from this guy. Who is he? Is he the head of the Hamilton County?
He's the chair for the Hamilton County Democrats.
Okay, he's very upset about the Department of Education going away. Is that right?
Yeah.
And he's using profanity. Did you bleep it?
Yeah, well, Kevin did.
Kevin, did you bleep it?
I did.
I'll
double check it, though.
I'm not going down for some Hamilton County Democrat.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
We took care of it.
Okay.
I think he wants to be an actor. You want to play it coming up?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay.
He's very upset.
It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
In purgatory, tortured souls lie trapped somewhere between heaven and you know where. This is where we find ourselves, trapped somewhere between winter and spring, tortured by strange weather patterns.
As the weather worsens,
Cold, snow, and ice.
These temperatures,
then thaw, rain, and flood. Let us be your guide through all stages of
spring,
winter, your severe winter,
spring,
and spring weather station, 93 WIBC.
Are you thinking this year I want to look and feel better and get my hair back? We Grow Hair Indy can help you do just that. I'm Rob, and I got my hair back at We Grow Hair Indy. Here's Darren Andrews, clinic director, to tell you why I chose them.
For nearly 20 years, we've helped thousands of clients grow their hair back, and we can help you. We're one of only 2 places in the entire country to offer the Artist Robotic FUE and multi-unit hair grafting.
I got multi-unit hair grafting. I love the results and cannot believe how much hair I got back. I can't recommend them enough. Call right now, 317-522-2995 for a free evaluation. Great technology, great company, great people, great results. Go to WeGrowHairIndy.com, see my results, and call 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Don't you want to say, I got my hair back?
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, Wings Etc. fans, guess what? March 10th through 13th is Wings Schooner Madness. We're rolling back prices on award-winning wings and big ice cold schooners to just 69 cents for wings and $5 for domestic schooners. Dine in only. Mark your calendars for March 10th through 13th and get great deals on wings and domestic schooners when you dine in for Wings Schooner Madness. March 10th through 13th, only at your local Wings Etc. Wings Etc. Grill and Pub with 15 Central Indiana locations and online at wingsetc.com.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Okay, so after Congress established the Department of Education, the department's 7 objectives in law are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Helping ensure access to equal educational opportunity for everyone.
Wait. The states already have that, right? I mean, like Indiana has, you have a constitutional right to an education in the state of Indiana. So,
Correct.
So let's knock that one out. We don't need that one. We've already got that.
Support states, localities, and public and private institutions.
Well, support them what?
That's all it says, support.
Indiana's going to spend probably $23 or $24 billion on public education this budget. I don't think they got the support thing down.
Promote improvements in education through research, evaluation, and the sharing of information.
So again, we said, I think most education people in Indiana have email.
Mm-hmm.
They have telephone.
They can share that information
They have
among
gasoline
themselves.
if it needs to be delivered in person, so they can already share the. So we've struck the first 3 down. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Improve the management and efficiency of federal education activities.
What is a federal education activity? What is that? What does that mean? What is a federal education activity?
Mm-hmm. Increase the accountability of federal education programs to the President, Congress, and the public.
Again, what is a federal education program? What is that? What does that mean?
And how are they increasing the accountability?
Right,
I mean, like
exactly.
the test scores, we know what they are, right?
Sure.
Okay. Encourage the public to be involved in federal education programs.
Encourage the public to be in. But what are they? I don't even know what they are. See, they're not doing a very good job. I don't even know what they are. How could I be encouraged to be a part of them? I don't even know what they are.
Improve the coordination of federal education programs.
Again. So they seems to keep going back to these federal education programs. This is utterly ridiculous. And this is the states should absolutely 100% decide how their children are educated. And really, it should be given as much discretion as possible to local governments, to local school boards. I've always thought that a high school diploma to me should be like a college diploma. Like, I didn't go to Yale. I understand that my degree from IU is not going to be as prestigious as some guy that went to Harvard. I get it, right? I understand. And if your school system is better in terms of colleges and the way they judge you or the things they want you to learn or the standards they set for you, then people will make that choice with their feet on what school system they want to be a part of. So if Brownsburg wants to have a different standard than Lebanon, or Fishers wants to have a different standard than Greenwood, and then colleges want to judge that, parents will hold their local school districts accountable based on how then higher institutions are holding them accountable, if indeed that's what they desire their kids to do. They're like, it should be as local as it can possibly be, and we do the exact opposite in this country.
Yep. So you've got this chair of the Hamilton County Democrats, and he posted something, a little video. He made a video, Rob.
He's angry.
He's very angry.
About the changes coming to the Department of Education.
Correct.
Sure.
Let's take a listen.
Man, America's really starting to fall behind other developed countries in education. We should close the Department of Education. What? No, I said America's falling behind in education. We need to do something to help. Right. So if we need to improve education, we should close the Department of Education. You think closing the Department of Education will help improve education? Yeah. Okay, let me get this straight. You think the best way to help improve education is by getting rid of the only department dedicated to education? Okay, look, I have no idea why we would close the Department of Education, all right? Fox News and some podcasters I listen to keep saying we need to do it, so we need to do it. Okay, but is that what you think? I have no idea. I mean, Fox News said we need to do it, so we need to do it, right? Look, all these right-wing extremists, they want to defund our public schools. But my kids go to public school. Yeah. I mean, an entire network and podcast ecosphere couldn't possibly be built around lying to me. Oh my God, I said so many stupid things online.
There you go.
Okay, so again, we went through the 7 things. A bunch of them are so vague, we don't even know what they are. And then several of them we were like, well, the states already do that or easily could do that. But this is the Democrat MO, which is so the system has been the system for 45 years now. Clearly it hasn't worked. Hey, maybe we got to change the system. You hate kids, right? I mean, that's the response. But this system isn't working, so we probably ought to revamp it. You hate kids. And you can take that to any part. It's like whether they're trying to reform the VA or anything else. Hey, there's a bunch of bloat and inefficiency. Well, then you want the veterans to suffer.
Yeah. So the Department of Education, they said that the essential programs, such as their student loans, their Pell Grants, their funding for special needs students, those are going to continue.
Okay, but again, if it's about funding, you don't need the Department of Education to provide funding. There's not a money printing factory in the Department of Education. Congress, the federal government, allocates funding, and I think a very compelling case can be made that the local school board member in Northwest Hendricks, which is Tri-West, knows the needs of Northwest Hendricks far better than some bureaucrat in Washington, D.C. Right. So give them the money, whatever money they're entitled to, and let them decide how to best deal with whatever issues are facing their school district, spend the money to provide services for special needs students or whatever that might be. Let them decide what to do. You don't need some person in Washington dictating that.
Right. And that's the way a lot of people feel. So it's not completely closed at this point anyway. It's a riff. It's efficiency.
Yeah. Okay. Are we doing voicemails?
Yeah, we've got a couple of those coming up. It's 93 WIBC.
Hey folks, Scott Wilson here from Wilson Farm Market. Even in winter, we're bringing you the best in farm fresh flavors. Stop in for our fresh salad bar, hot and crispy wing bar, and a cheese selection that is second to none. Got a sweet tooth? Our homemade pies, creamy fudge, and old-fashioned candy will hit the spot. Come see us on US 31 just north of Carmel We're open every day 9 to 6. At Wilson Farm Market, we're all about fresh, local, and delicious. See you soon.
Big Joe here. You've heard me talk about Absolute Comfort and the Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits for years. This energy-efficient way to heat and cool your home is a game changer. These systems are smart and can detect when someone is in the room and adjust to your activity. Visit Absolute Comfort at the Flower and Patio Show, booth 382 in the West Pavilion across from the beer garden. Ask for Jeremy or Chris to answer all your questions. Absolute Comfort, your trusted American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A stopgap funding bill now in the Senate's hands. You've got a sunny sky, and it's 46 degrees in downtown Indy. 72 is the high today. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:30. The bill narrowly passed in the House on Tuesday by a vote of 217 to 213 before Friday's deadline to avoid a government shutdown. All but one Republican supported the measure, which is supposed to be lasting for the next 6 months. Republicans do have a slight majority in the Senate, but Kentucky's Rand Paul has made it clear he is firmly against the bill. Bad weather looks like it's on its way to Indiana on Friday.
So storms are going to be coming in from the west, probably hit the Illinois-Indiana border right around or just after sunset, and then track through the rest of central Indiana.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says the tornado threat is low, but damaging winds could be a problem near I-65. Billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban will be the keynote speaker at the 2025 Global Entrepreneurship Congress in Indianapolis. The event's scheduled for June 2nd through the 5th, and it's supposed to bring together entrepreneurs, investors, and policymakers from around the world to share innovative approaches to empowering those entrepreneurs. Cuban is a graduate of Indiana University and owns the Dallas Mavericks. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Blood, sweat, tears. At Bill Estes, we know it takes hard work and years of doing the right thing to build a business people can depend on. That's why we don't make empty promises and expect your trust. Estes earns it. From Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas to Ram 1500s and Chevy Silverados, we have the trucks you'll love at prices you can believe in. But don't just take our word for it. Your trust means something. Estes earns it. BillEstes.com.
We all have people in our lives we interact with. Maybe it's your favorite barista, a neighbor who waves to you every morning, a coworker you grab lunch with, or maybe it's me, the hairstylist you've gone to for years. What if you learned I had a substance use disorder? Would it change how you see me? It's okay to see the addiction, but when you choose to see the person, not just their disease, it can help change someone's life. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Are you wanting comfort at half the price? Now's the time, because Lazy Boy and Smith Brothers are 50% off with extra discounts for cash. Thinking about getting outside soon? Berlin Gardens and Pollywood Outdoor Furniture are up to 20% off during the early season sale. Hurry in to Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Sale ends Monday with free delivery.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present voicemails.
The phone number, if you'd like like to contribute, 317-684-8444. It is time to hear from you and your voicemails with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Of course, this first phone call, it's from a Marine, and he wants to talk about property taxes.
I spent 10 years in the Marine Corps. I got real good at talking to people using crayons to illustrate, and I think somebody needs to illustrate to these public officials that, if they were to tax these businesses and stuff that are coming in, or, maybe attract more people to their town in some sort of way, by not taxing them to death or something, then that would increase their tax base. I live over in New Pal, Greenfield surrounds us. I'm not sure how that works, but whatever. And they put in all these warehouses, right? Like Rob always talks about Brownsburg being Warehouseburg, but Greenfield did the same thing, except somehow these developers came in and they built 1 million square foot buildings, and they don't have any tenants in them. So we got these big empty buildings that nobody does anything with. Could be because of Biden's uncontrollable spending, and then interest rates went up, and then no business wanted to make the capital investment of expanding into one of these warehouses. I don't know.
Okay, so a couple things. One of and I think this is what's really frustrating for a lot of people about all the explosive growth that we've seen throughout the greater central Indiana area, is if you're going to change the landscape of the community I've spent my life in, then you better have something in it for me, because what am I getting out of it? I'm the sort of person who has been here my whole life in a place. I've made it a place people want to live. I've made it the sort of place that people want to move to. And yet, with all this explosive growth, all we keep getting in a lot of these communities is more traffic, drain on infrastructure, increased utility bills, increased property tax bills. I look around the town I live in and say, all of this stuff has gone up for me and it is more difficult. What did I get out of all this growth you did? And if the growth, this was always the argument, as the greatest municipal property tax cutter in the history of this state that I always had to people, I said, I'm willing to do growth if growth limits the burden of somebody else. If you can prove to me how this growth, whether it's a residential neighborhood or it's a commercial development or whatever, how does this thing help the people that are here? If it doesn't, I'm not doing it. I'm not interested in growth for growth. And so when you look at what he's talking about, these warehouses, now so many of these warehouses are under 10-year abatements. So they're not, hey, Lopez. Oh, he can't hear me. They're Jerry Lopez. Come in here. We got to sit down. You're the perfect, we need to talk to you here in just a second. So sit down. Jerry's here. I texted you. I have a question for you. But the point about this is, if the growth is clearly not paying for itself, your landscape of the place you called home that you've made great is changing. Your life is being disrupted, and all you're getting out of it is more taxes, more congestion, more drain on your infrastructure, higher utility bills. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? And this is the leap and all of this stuff. All these businesses, they're all moving here. We see the data showing that homeowners have never had a higher burden of property taxes than what they have now in the tax cap era. Yep. So clearly it isn't working.
Point, these warehouses, they don't have tenants in there.
Nope. And so Jerry Lopez is here, Indy Spanglish. Are you speaking?
What did I just walk into?
Well, we saw something and we wanted to confirm it was true. Yeah. Are you speaking at a Fisher's GOP meeting?
Yeah, so there's 3 of us. So it's me, Abdul, and Tony Kennett. We're all invited to the Fisher's GOP meeting. It's coming up next Tuesday. Tiffany Divelton from Fisher's invited us all to appear.
Okay, who invited you?
Tiffany.
Who's that?
She's on the city council.
Oh, in Fisher's.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to read the description.
I think I know now why you weren't invited, Rob.
Of you. Okay, so it's this big flyer or whatever. People are passing it around, and it lists Abdul. They list him as journalist, commentator, and cheat sheet author. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah. They list Tony Kennett, syndicated investigative columnist for the Daily Signal, host of the Tony Kennett cast on WIBC. I think that's fair.
That's fair.
Then they get to you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See what's missing from the description. Because what would you say you do here? You fill in for Kennett. You appear on Kennett.
Yeah. I would just say I'm like a full-time fill-in co-host.
And what show do you most appear on?
So here's a true story. I'm filling in for Nigel later, and I was like, man, I'm really excited. I haven't been on Hammer and Nigel in a long time. I said I've been on Kendall and Casey 6 times since the last time I've been on Hammer and Nigel.
Thank you. Okay, so I think people would most associate you.
Are they trying to distance me from you?
Well, filling in on this show. Here's the description. Media personality with regular appearances on Hammer and Nigel, the Tony Kinnett cast, and guest host on WIBC.
That's you guys.
These Fisher's GOP a-holes are so petty, and they're such small people that they went out of their way
to exclude the Kendall and Casey.
Well, you're
show.
called on WIBC.
That is. I saw that.
They named the other shows from WIBC.
They did.
Right? Tony Kinnett is WIBC.
They're not giving us any branding at all. They won't even say our name wrong.
Okay, I thought, well, you know,
I didn't even catch that. I'm like, it does say on WIBC, but the 2 things that it mentions are on WIBC.
This is the pettiness. Look, and I hope you have a great time, and I'm sure you'll wow them with your charm and charisma. And
you want to be my plus one?
No, I do not. I don't want anything. I want as little to do with these people as they want to do with me. But this is the pettiness. This is what I'm talking about.
And you're a Republican in good standing.
It's like, and it's like Stalin. Remember, he used to take the people when they'd send them to the gulags out of the pictures. They'd remove them as though they don't. Then they just as though what? Because they're not going to mention us. I don't exist.
Well, you're the Icarus that's flown too close to the sun, man.
There you go.
The GOP sun, yeah.
All right, okay. I just wanted to make sure that I had seen that properly, and that was not some fraudulent flyer that was
No, that's
Look at
legit.
him. He was like all proud about it, and now he's questioning.
Now I feel even better about it.
Okay.
Even better.
Good.
If I can do this and make Rob Kendall upset, I'll take it.
Well, look,
but I didn't even notice, to be 100% honest with you.
And it's so interesting because I know you probably have some vacation time coming up within the next month or so that you don't save it all till the end of the year, Rob Kendall. And guess who's going to be filling in for you?
I can fill in as a guest host on that WIBC show.
Because I was like, I don't think he's ever filled in for Cats. Have you ever filled in for Cats?
No.
So the only. What other programming would he be associated with?
Or Ethan. I've never had the Saturday Night Circle.
Oh, so yeah.
So the only WIBC hosting to be done would be the #1 Kendall and Casey show. And it's not like, well, their ratings are so bad, we'd be embarrassed to be mentioning them. Are you coming to the property tax
rally? I think I'm going to. I'm going to bring my daughter, too.
You need to be there.
Yeah, and we're going to go out and have some fun afterwards. That's why I sold it.
Yeah, I think we got some deal hooked up with Loftmillers, too.
Sweet.
So I'm going to confirm that today. All right, you can get out of here. What are you doing here, by the way?
Filling in for Nige. Big Nige is out, so it's me and Jason.
Nigel's not at work today?
Surprise, surprise. I'm still feeling like we're on the Gilligan's Island. It's like others and Marianne here on Gilligan's Island.
It doesn't surprise me anymore. It's just the pettiness. Even the Indy Star, they did a big article about Mikey today. We're very prominently mentioned in Indy Star about the rally. Even the Indy Star's like, yeah, they're legitimate people. We just don't even.
Hey, this really upset you, man.
No, it's just I pointed out. Like they're
this
just like
really upset you.
They want to act as though
when's
exist.
the first time you saw it? Last night? You've been mad since last night?
No, I just saw it.
No, he's been mad. This is only like 2 minutes mad.
I just saw it.
He's texting me, and I'm like, actually, I'm in the elevator. I'm coming. I'll be in right now. And I walk by, and he's like, step in, get on the mic. I had no clue what was going on.
No prep at all. You had no idea what you were watching.
Why didn't they name my show? Sorry, Rob.
All right, we go break.
Yeah, but let's get Hammer in here. It's Kendall and Casey on night. It's WIBC show.
Hammer and Nigel show 3:00 this afternoon. Tony Kinnett will join us. Also, more Hammer and Nigel Records Madness. 93 WIBC.
Recent talk about rising interest rates and economic uncertainty may have you wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will I get the price I need? Will it take too long? The good news, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. There is a friendly, no-pressure, experienced agent who eats and sleeps Indianapolis real estate. Call Mark Deedle. Perhaps you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Crystal and Franklin had to say about working with Mark Deedle. I was moving to Kentucky and needed to move fast. I got the Mark Deedle marketing plan and was blown away. The plan worked. I got a full list price offer in the first weekend. Just like that, Mark and his team got it done. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
When is the right time to file for Social Security? Well, that's a difficult decision today. You have to consider that Social Security is running out of money. You also need to consider the tax hit on your benefits and your IRA and 401k withdrawals. And finally, you should consider your spousal benefits. If you don't consider all these things, you could leave a lot of money on the table.
Bill Demery, your retirement guy. He's going to show you how you could get the most income from Social Security with a free, customized Social Security analysis. So if you've saved more than $200,000, but you've not yet filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, my retirement guy. He should be your retirement guy. 317-648-5120.
I'll say this. There are no entries in the Hoops Fan Hall of Fame who didn't show up to the game. Yes, you in the back.
Professor, March Madness is coming to Indianapolis. Are we ready?
You prepared to bring the fire? Give it 110 from tip to the final buzzer? Oh, you're ready. The NCAA Sweet 16 and Elite 8, March 28th and 30th in Indianapolis. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MVB tickets. Class dismissed.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-822-1598. 800-822-1598. 800-822-1598.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Hey guys, let's talk about feeling your best. If you don't feel that same energy, strength, you're moody, or it seems you've lost your drive with your partner, it could be low T. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer, and you'll find true experts at Low T Center. Getting tested is fast and easy. They're not all the same. Don't settle for a standard dosage TRT program.
Learn about personalized therapy at a Low T Center near you. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
If this is the year to build your custom dream home, Joyner Homes is ready to help make your dream come true. They offer the flexibility to build on your own lot, allowing you to build a home in the place you've always envisioned. A dedicated in-house team of experts will guide you through every step, offering unmatched personalization and flexibility. Joyner Homes provides clear and upfront pricing and floor plans to inspire you. There's no time like the present to get in touch with Joyner Homes to talk about your vision and learn more about their building process. Visit JoynerHomes.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
Here he is from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel show. Jason Hammer joining us in the studio. Good morning.
Man, when the sun's out and the temperature is decent, I'm in a much better mood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when it's cloudy and cold and nasty, I'm kind of like Rob. Like, nobody wants to be around me, and people just tolerate me, and they just look at me and want to walk away. But when the sun's out, man, sun's out, guns out. I'm feeling good. I'm excited. And we are in day number 2 of Hammer and Nigel Records Madness. Now, yesterday, we had a first upset in the first matchup. The number 10 seed, Summer of COVID-19, moved on to the second round.
See, I think you had that misseeded. That, to me, should have been the favorite. It's a better song.
Usually on our shows, butt jokes do well. So that's why China COVID tests were seated higher.
Okay.
Got to know your audience.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. So the current matchup And again, you've got until 3 o'clock today to vote on Hammer and Nigel Facebook or Twitter or both. We're going to start with the number 11 seed, and this one's in Rob's wheelhouse.
Oh.
Liberal Bruce Springsteen. Now, I think it was about 4 years ago or so, maybe even longer now, he had this big Super Bowl commercial. And instead of being like this
Jeep
liberal, political guy, he was supposed to be bringing people together with a Jeep commercial.
He was at a church in the middle of the country. He found a church in the middle of the country.
Supposed to bring everybody together, and for some reason it was controversial because it was Bruce Springsteen, super lib. But then a couple days later, turns out, even though it was kind of bull crap, he got hit with a DUI in New Jersey.
That's right.
He stopped with some fans, took a shot of tequila, got on his bike, and rode off, and they popped him for a Dewey.
One of the great headlines in the history of the New York Post, Born to Rum.
I love the Post. So this was a couple years ago. When all of that was taking place, this was the song we put together called DUIs.
And we learned today that Bruce Springsteen is now facing a drunk driving charge in New Jersey. The National Park Service confirming he was arrested in Sandy Hook in November. He was cited for alleged DWI, reckless driving. Authorities say he was cooperative during his arrest. TMZ now reporting he has a court date in a few weeks.
I debuted my new commercial on the big game Sunday night. I didn't think it was controversial. Just want us all to unite.
All right.
Well, late Tuesday night, I got a call from my agent. He said, "We got a problem, boss."
Oh, no.
Yeah, a bunch of reporters found out you got arrested for driving while on the sauce. DUIs. Yeah. When you drink and drive, DUIs. Never take the breath of lies. DUIs. Woo! DUIs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nigel record. That's pretty good. What is that? What seed is that?
11 seed.
You got that as 11?
This is a strong field. The number 6 seed, the song that it's going up against, is. Let me take you on a little history lesson.
Yeah.
Years ago, there was a gentleman by the name of Jeffrey Toobin, and he was the legal analyst at CNN. Prior to what this song is about, he got in trouble for knocking up a colleague's daughter and trying to force an abortion upon her.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Somehow, he was able to escape through that. He's a bad guy, but he kept his job. So fast forward a few years later during COVID, when everybody's doing these Zoom meetings, I don't know what he was thinking, but he was on a Zoom meeting where multiple people could see him, and he started fondling himself on the Zoom call.
Yeah. He thought it was paused or something. Now, here's the thing. Wouldn't you just wait till the meeting was like over, not just paused?
Well, you'd think, right? And the kicker, CNN, they brought him back.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, they let him go for a little while, but then they brought him back. It's kind of like when Hogsett brought back Thomas Carl Cook after all the allegations. So after that little incident, on Zoom with Jeffrey Toobin, we put this song together.
Woo! Hey, did you ever seem to have one of those days where you just want to take all your pants off on a Zoom call? I used to have those kind of feelings all the time. And then I finally did something about it. Let me tell you. Sitting on a Zoom call thinking it's a drag. I get the sudden urge to put my hand down my pants. When I hear the hot chicks, I know it's my cue to drop all my legal briefs and break out the lube.
Come on!
Stroking in the Zoom room. Stroking in the Zoom room. CNN don't care what I assume, but everybody knows that stroking ain't allowed on Zoom.
There it is.
What's the break?
That's a
Nice.
6.
That's a 6 seed.
Okay,
Yes.
so we had the conversation yesterday on the Degenerates Next Door Sports Betting podcast about we went through the history of the spreads on all the national championship games since 1985. And the most legendary amongst them is probably that Villanova over, was it Georgetown?
Georgetown, heavy favorite over Villanova in 85.
8, and then there was another one that was a 14. And I just feel like stroking in the Zoom room could be that Villanova upset that just runs people can really get behind that.
Right. And it shows you how strong this field is when DUIs comes in at 11. DUIs is strong.
I liked it.
Yeah. Casey, you ever have a webcam back in the day?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. No, I never took my pants off.
You ever pull a tubing on it?
No.
I'm saying like in the old days, where that was a big deal. If you had to have a webcam, that was technology.
Yeah.
You had one?
There's an American Pie scene about that in the
Right,
film.
absolutely.
So you can vote right now for the one you want to move on in our tournament. Hammer and Nigel, Twitter or Facebook. Click the one you like, and we'll have a new matchup this afternoon.
You're trying to keep a story that we called. It was going to disappear. We said the city is going to drag this out and let the story disappear. And now you're back. You're saying, no, I will not let it disappear.
We have a major sexual harassment scandal in the mayor's office of Indianapolis. And for about 36 hours, it was covered by the media here.
Yeah, big time.
Since then, crickets.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, I posted on Hammer and Nigel, Facebook and Twitter earlier today. Where's that little weasel Thomas Carl Cook at? Because he was the guy at the epicenter. Like, the story broke. Even the Indy Star had to ultimately cover this guy allegedly, treating chicks very improperly at the mayor's office.
There were two sets of stories, right? Mirror Indy had one, and then the Star had one.
Right. And then Joe Hogsett, this was his buddy. Right? Old Diamond Joe. This was his wingman. It was the Vince Vaughn to his Owen Wilson.
That's right.
So did he know what was going on? He brought him back for another re-election run. One, where is Thomas Carl Cook? Is he still in Indy, or is he allegedly harassing chicks elsewhere? And why is it all these investigative reporters in the city talking about this story? Where's that goon over at Channel 13, old 2 L's? Can you verify where Thomas Carl Cook is? Can you verify where Hogsett was during the riots, or if he knew what was going on?
Well, and I think that's why Thomas Carl Cook's been protected. He's the guy who knows where Hogsett was during the riots.
We all know where Hogsett was at during the riots.
Currently under investigation.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Nigel's not working today, right?
He is out. Spanglish is in. Tommy Lahren calls in today.
Nice.
And more Hammer and Nigel madness.
Thank you, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
You love spring and Indy, but you hate to paint, so do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
The house that Rhino Shield did for my husband and I, after having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Visit Rhino Shield's booth at the Flower and Patio Show and learn about their 25-year transferable warranty protection. Plus, receive a free prize.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield, and I am just thrilled to recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
This is the most exciting time of the year, and we want you to go all the way, even if your team doesn't. March on, Indiana, in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Shop any of Hubler's 13 locations and choose from over 2,000 vehicles, including Chevys, Fords, Toyotas, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes, all models, certified vehicles, luxury vehicles, even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, plus a 128-point vehicle inspection, and a free Carfax history report. Hubler's got you covered. Busted brackets not included. For over 2,000 vehicles, visit drivehubler.com or any of our 13 locations.
Hubler's got you covered. Cover me.
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe. Laugh until your belly aches. Cry because you care so much. And experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life.
Get ready for the concert event of the summer.
On the road again.
Catch Willie Nelson and family. Bob Dylan, Sheryl Crow, and more at the Outlaw Music Festival's 10th anniversary tour, September 18th, Ruoff Music Center. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Get tickets at livenation.com.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office. 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, and AI? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, why it's been a busy morning for the Indiana governor as well as police officers in Indianapolis. Those stories and more coming up in 2 minutes after Fox News on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it's now 11 o'clock.
He's trying to stay in the U.S. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Mahmoud Khalil is from Syria, and President Trump wants him out of our country.
Fox's Eric Shawn outside a federal court in New York, where a judge that blocked Khalil's deportation holds a hearing this hour. Khalil is a former Columbia grad student, a legal U.S. resident who has a green card and a pregnant American wife. He was arrested over the weekend, then detained in Louisiana, accused of being a Hamas sympathizer in anti-Israel protests last year at Columbia.
To some, he is a terrorist-loving activist. To others, a fighter for the Palestinian people. But some of the campus protests, aligned with the terrorist group Hamas, have celebrated the October 7th massacre. Some of the protesters have called for Israel to be destroyed.
Now, the U.S. has resumed weapons and military shipments to Ukraine. The day after that, country's leaders agreed to an American-brokered ceasefire plan. The next step is getting Russia to also agree. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is hopeful this could lead to an end to the war.
If we are going to have 30-day truce, these 30 days will have to be used to put certain matters on paper.
A standoff in a train tunnel in Pakistan is over. Security forces have killed all the militants who hijacked that train yesterday, taking hundreds of passengers hostage, though some of them are also dead. Canada and the European Union are going to impose retaliatory tariffs on billions of dollars worth of American products after U.S. tariffs went into effect this morning on all steel and aluminum imports, wanting more manufactured in the U.S.
The president wants steel and aluminum in America. And let me be clear, nothing's going to stop that.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick also tells Fox Business tariffs on copper are coming. Inflation eased last month. The rate of consumer prices slowed from January. The annual rate dropped from 3 to 2.8%. Tariff worries, though, still hang over the stock market. The Dow down another 342 points. The NASDAQ is up 61. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What he signed and what it means. Mostly sunny and 45 degrees on Monument Circle. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Indiana Governor Mike Braun signed 2 executive orders this morning. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The common themes of these orders is steering clear of political agendas. The first order says federal laws set basic environmental rules, and some states add a little bit more on top of that. Braun says you won't have to deal with that because that raises costs for businesses and others. The second order says the state will base environmental decisions on science, not race or politics. Braun says it's all about protecting natural resources and boosting economic growth, regardless of your ideology. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Also, more testimony will be heard today by the House Ways and Means Committee about a proposed property tax relief bill. That's at 1:30. Gunfire on the south side of Indianapolis this morning.
Our Southeast District officers responded to a report of a person shot in the 4,000 block of Southeast Street. Those officers arrived, discovered the victim who sustained injuries consistent with a gunshot wound.
IMPD Sergeant William Young says it happened around 7 o'clock near near a hotel, and they're looking for suspects. The person who was shot is alive but badly hurt. Local police could be deputized to perform some ICE duties if a bill becomes state law. The House committee approved the measure Tuesday. Republican State Representative Chris Jeter of Fishers supports the bill.
These types of operations are going to be happening around the country, and I think our local law enforcement officials would benefit and our communities would benefit from having training on how to handle those situations.
Lawmakers are revisiting this bill after a similar one already failed. That plan would have required all county police to join the 287G program. This version lets agencies opt in with grants run by Indiana's Homeland Security Department. And the Indiana Flower and Patio Show returns for its 67th year this weekend at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Organizers of it say it features beautiful gardens crafted by many of Indiana's premier landscapers, hundreds of finer outdoor living experts, and thousands of ideas, solutions, and products to take home. I'm John Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. WIBC News Time, 11:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Greetings from our agency, your Indiana Health Insurance Pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for making us national sales leaders once again for 2024. Crazy sign-up periods are at last over. If you were told the ACA and it's still Obamacare was your only option, that's just not true. If you were told since you've signed up already, you must keep your ACA program for a year, that's not true either. If you do not have serious health problems, and God forbid make a living wage, the ACA is your worst option, and it can be canceled at any time. We feature coverages guaranteed age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. Self-employed, early retiree, or ACA victim, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-563-0868 or rragency.org. As always, God bless America, peace through strength, and common sense government.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, March 12th. It is 5 minutes after 11. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And yesterday, the U.S. House of Representatives, they passed that continuing resolution with a 217 to 213 vote. The vote was mostly along party lines. One Democrat voted for it, one Republican voted against it, and two members did not vote.
So think about this. A party that campaigned once again on reining in federal spending, a party that campaigned on getting inflation under control, a party who campaigned on and promised that they were going to turn back the hands of time on the damage done by the Biden administration. And what did they do yesterday? All but one of them said, let's just largely continue the status quo, certainly as it relates to spending. Now, their argument is going to be, well, we moved some money from over here to over there, and we took away from this, and we put it towards that. Spending is basically the same. The Joe Biden spending levels will continue for another 6 months. What have the Republicans done since they took back the House of Representatives in 2022, and they've controlled the money? So that's 22, 23, or 22, 23, 24. We're on our second, we're 2.5 years into Republicans holding the purse strings.
Yeah.
What do you have?
They did like to say yes to Joe Biden, didn't they? So the bill's now going to go to the Senate for approval, and it's going to fund the government through the end of September. Non-defense spending would increase by $13 billion, while defense spending will increase by $6 billion.
So spending continues to increase.
$19 billion.
Right. And this excuse that the mental pretzel that these people do, well, we've got to give DOGE the time to do its work. You need 6 months? You have to keep going for 6 months? What were you people doing in the buildup? Because let's say you win the election at the 1st of November. Trump isn't sworn in until middle of January. That's 2.5 months. You guys were sworn in ahead of Trump in the Congress. What were you guys doing for those 2.5 months? I know Mike Johnson was on a plane with Trump and going to UFC fights with Trump. What were the Republicans doing I mean, it's just time to, just say it out loud. We like lying to you, and you're stupid enough to believe us. That should be the National Republican Party motto should be, we like lying to you, and you're stupid enough to keep believing us, because they keep doing the exact same. Oh, and by the way, they turn the one guy who actually says, I'm going to keep my promise, they turn him into some sort of pariah and act like he's public enemy number one.
I take it Massey was the no vote?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured. Which way did Fetterman vote?
Well, he's a senator.
Oh, right. It's not gone to him.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, and I love the fact that the only thing they could try to hang over Massey's head is he's voting for continuing resolutions before. And Massey was quick to point out, yeah, I did vote for a continuing resolution before, one that cut federal spending by 8%. Didn't add to, cut federal spending by 8%. By the way, that didn't pass. So I don't think he's ever voted for a CR that has actually passed. So who's the bad guy in this equation? The one guy, this is how upside down we are in our politics. And this is the weird thing about people that are uber loyal to Trump. They're willing to suspend all knowledge, critical thinking, reasonable, rational thinking. Trump is doing the exact opposite of what he promised you, but you're mad at the guy who's doing the thing that he promised you. The one guy out of all these Republicans, of the 218, the one guy who's like, I will hold true to my word, somehow he becomes the problem in all of this, not the people who are doing the exact opposite of what they promise you to do. Not Rudy Yakum, not Sparks, not Hoppenhauchen, not Marlin. Shame on Marlin Stutzman, by the way. Shame on that guy, because he wasn't that. Marlin Stutzman was a Massey the last time he was in there. And I don't know who got to him, and I don't know what they're holding over him, and I don't know why he's doing the exact opposite of what he did the last time, because he was great when he was in the House before. Or Messmer, or Baird. I feel like there's one of these, Shreve. Like, why are they not the bad guys? They're the ones that are screwing you. They're the ones that are voting against accountability. They're the ones who are not following through on promises. Why aren't they the ones that people are coming after? Oh, because Trump wanted it.
Yeah.
That is just crazy to me.
Okay, so today it looks like the stock market is rebounding just a little bit. This after the reports of the CPI. Inflation cooled in February. Consumer prices rising 2.8% year over year, but that is down from January's 3% increase. Core inflation also increased 3.1%. That is the lowest it's been since 2021, lower than it was expected to be, which is 3.2%. Donald Trump was speaking when he was doing
By the way, the Dow is now down 387 points.
Okay.
So think about this.
Moments ago I looked and it was like, it's up from yesterday.
But this is the world we're living in, Casey, where the economy is so upside down that the only way to stave off a massive drop in the market for any period of time is, well, we've got to maintain insane levels of government spending. Really? That's where we're at? This is okay? I love that Trump's a real tough guy on the tariffs, right? Like, we've got to do this. We've got to reset the economy. We've got to get everything back to where it is. But he don't want to do that with his own spending. You notice that? You notice how he's Billy Badass on the tariffs, because that's out of control. But something that might affect him here at home, he doesn't want any part of that. If he were the same way, I would have so much more respect for him on these tariffs. If he were doing the same thing on something that he has direct control over, which is federal spending. If we're going to make the argument that the economy is totally upside down and we got to rip the Band-Aid off and we got to reset all this stuff to get it back where it needs to be, and you're doing it on everything, then okay. But he's not doing it here. He's not doing it on spending. He's artificially inflating the economy with the government spending.
Yeah, you can't just cut your way to savings with Doge. You've got to not only cut, but also decrease your spending.
And it's always been a joke, because they're not going to do anything with Social Security. They're not going to do anything with Medicare. They're not going to do anything with Medicaid, other than, I guess, whatever Musk can find in terms of fraud and abuse. The structure of it is insane. When you have only a couple people working for every person on the program, that doesn't work. That's math. And these Republicans, I expect it from the Democrats. I expect dishonesty and deceit from the Democrats, because they don't promise me to be better. I expect the Andre Carson people to produce Andre Carson results. But the Republicans, they are being so dishonest with people Kevin's age. They're lying right to Kevin's face. They're lying right to my face, too, acting like this thing can sustain itself, that it can keep going, that you can keep having fewer and fewer workers paying in for more and more people to be on a program. Like what? The idea that we're going to raise the age for a couple years to save the program, like that's some sort of doomsday scenario. These people, all they do is deflect and deceive, and that's what they're doing again. They're doing it every single time, and eventually someone, either Kevin's generation, my generation, I don't know what generation it'll be, somebody's going to get left holding the bag and is going to get completely screwed. Social Security is an unsustainable program. Medicare is an unsustainable program. Medicaid is an unsustainable program. All of these things are going to royally screw future generations, and nobody on our side of the aisle has, other than guys like Massey and Rand Paul, have the stones to say, I'm not doing that anymore.
So the Federal Reserve, they're going to struggle to lower the interest rates, especially if the tariffs keep inflation high and as we experience more increases in food prices. However, it was being touted yesterday that the price of eggs has come down, and also interest rates and gasoline prices have come down. That's what Donald Trump was saying yesterday when he was shopping his Teslas.
Okay, let's talk about interest rates for a second, though, because 6.7, 6.8?
6.63, I believe.
Okay, even lower. That is historically not high at all. Think about where we're at, how much we have screwed up our society. We juice the economy in a phony fashion based on pathetically low interest rates. We screwed a whole bunch of people in the process, by the way, drove home prices up, everything else. But now, because that's the only way to keep the economy rolling, is ridiculous and historically low interest rates. That's the fight now. 6.6 is nothing. 6.6 is nothing. It's like it's...
Well, it is something if you're a first-time home buyer.
But historically, it's not, Casey. That's the point. We've spoiled people to the point.
Yeah,
and
thinking that the 3% is the norm or what it should be.
I bet I could look this up.
Yeah, because you want it to be difficult to borrow money.
Yeah, all right. Interest rates over time. Let's see if I can pull this up. Let's see if there's a graph. Oh, yeah. I mean, like look at this. I mean, let's see how far back I can go. 10 years. Okay, so 10 years. I mean, yeah, it's just this is like, yeah. Give me a second here because this is the Fed rate.
I don't know how far back you're going, but what was it in the 70s and 80s?
Well, it was 13+%.
Okay, but at the same time, you have to consider that the home prices weren't as expensive.
I agree, Casey, but that's the point. They have created, the government has created, just like they created the crisis of 2008. We always allow the government to create the crisis, and then
the cause of and solution to,
and then we are
all of life's problems.
Okay, April of 1990.
Okay.
Casey, what was the 30-year mortgage rate in April of 1990?
I have no idea. I wasn't a homeowner then.
10.5%.
Okay.
What is the average from 1971 to today? What is the average?
Oh, well, it's been as high as 15% and it's been as low as 3%. I'm going to say the average was probably 7.5.
7.72 is our average.
How good I was.
Very good. The point in all this is we are acting, though. Trump is trying to use this as some sort of crutch, as though this is really harming our... No, it should not be easy to buy a home. Now, you've doubly screwed people based on the fact that you jacked up home prices because you, the government, you, Trump, by the way, Trump did this, okay? Let's not... when did the interest rates go 2%? Who was president?
Oh.
Trump was the president in 2020 when all this happened. Trump shut down society.
They were lower before that.
No, they weren't. Casey,
you got the graph in front of you.
Casey, the interest rates were in the threes and fours.
Okay,
and they jacked that. I mean, it was stupid. Like I remember Trump having this argument. This is the hypocrisy of all this. In one of the first, maybe the first debate in 2015 in the primaries, and Trump made the case that money was too cheap. He was saying, and that people beat him up over, and he goes, wait a second. He goes, money's always going to be cheap for me because I'm a rich guy. He goes, it doesn't matter to me whether you're artificially. He was making the argument exact opposite of what he did in 2020. And I know people are going to be mad at me for pointing this out, but I don't care because we have to start holding our own people accountable. The only way to fix this, and it makes me sick, the people like Thomas Massey are somehow villainized for going, this doesn't work. This is unsustainable. All right, we got to take a break. Kloffenstein is going to join us next.
Yeah, it was Chamber Day at the State House?
And apparently they were talking about the rally.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so we'll call Kloffenstein when we come back.
Okay. It's Kendall Casey on 93 WIBC.
Indianapolis roads, a total disaster. Some of the worst potholes in America. Am I right?
A car on Keystone Avenue just fell into one the size of a swimming pool.
Disgraceful. These roads should be great again. But right now, they look like the surface of the moon.
Suspension repair shops are making a fortune.
Rigged system. But Matt Baer, he's the guy to trust. Tremendous at avoiding these disasters. Just tremendous.
Matt Baer, making your commute great again. Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have. Think it could be lower testosterone? What do you mean? All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T. I've heard about Nugenix. That really works? Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus. Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try? Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office. 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Hey, Wings Etc. fans, guess what? March 10th through 13th is Wings Schooner Madness. We're rolling back prices on award-winning wings and big ice cold schooners to just 69 cents for wings and $5 for domestic schooners. Dine in only. Mark your calendars for March 10th through 13th and get great deals on wings and domestic schooners when you dine in for Wings Schooner Madness. March 10th through 13th, only at your local Wings Etc. Wings Etc. Grill and Pub with 15 Central Indiana locations and online at wingsetc.com.
Big Joe here. You've heard me talk about Absolute Comfort and the Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits for years. This energy-efficient way to heat and cool your home is a game changer. These systems are smart and can detect when someone is in the room and adjust to your activity. Visit Absolute Comfort at the Flower and Patio Show, booth 382 in the West Pavilion across from the beer garden. Ask for Jeremy or Chris to answer all your questions. Absolute Comfort, your trusted American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Call today or visit bwindow.com. This month only, receive $400 off per window, $850 off per patio or entry door with 2.99% financing.
So it was a big day yesterday at the State House, Casey.
Yeah, it was Chamber Day. Chamber Day. Do you
Well,
have to pay to go to that?
I don't know. All I know is that all the chamber people come from across the state, and then there's presentations, and so the Chamber of Commerce, and I guess that
It's not Chamber Music Day.
Chamber Music Day. The property tax rally was a big part of discussion, as were the property taxes.
Say more words.
So I said, let's get a lowdown of what happened yesterday. Our old pal Kloffenstein. Brad, hello.
Hello, Rob. Casey, how are you?
All right, so you were there. You said that the property taxes and the property tax rally was a big point of discussion at the Chamber Day yesterday, which makes sense. These are business people. They should want low property taxes.
Absolutely. So, which I would like to say, happy day after Chamber Day to both of you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we forgot to celebrate, so we're glad we can do
Belated
it today.
Chamber Day greetings.
Okay, so what? This is a gathering of like all various Chamber of Commerce people across the state are welcome to come and be a part of these presentations?
Correct. So, yeah, it's put on by the Indiana Chamber of Commerce, and then there were local chambers. I think they said there were 37 local chambers from around the state that came yesterday, and we heard from everyone. We had Dr. Katie Jenner spoke at lunch.
She's the superintendent person, is that right?
Indiana Secretary of Education.
Yeah, that's right. It's not called superintendent anymore. Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Correct. Yeah. So in fact, she has one of the silos. So she now has education and other education-related things that are underneath her purview. We had Rodney Davis. He's a former congressman from Illinois who's head of government affairs for the U.S. Chamber. And then we had some roundtable discussions, and I sat in on the tax climate roundtable discussion.
Now you took a photo for me. Like, these people are up on the stage, and then you peasants had to sit down below them. That's the way it looked.
Well, I just happened to be in the front row, so that's the way it looked. It was actually a big room, so we were over at the Indiana Convention Center. And actually, the picture I sent you, they had a panel of freshman legislators. So they had 4. They had 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, 2 from the Senate, and 2 from the House. And they talked about things that they wanted to accomplish and things that they've learned as they've come to be in the body.
Now, our buddy, Big Tax Brett Clark, I think, was in that photo that you had sent me. Did anyone ask him about him working for the construction management companies or working with them and then voting to screw the people on property taxes to protect the local governments that company works with? Did anyone ask any questions about that?
No, there were not questions from the audience on that discussion. So, no, that did not come up, Rob.
Did any of these meetings with any of the legislators, did they influence your perspective on things?
To some degree. I mean, it was interesting to have the conversations. Obviously, I think we all know taxes, and especially property taxes, are complex. And so in our tax breakout session, we talked a lot about property taxes and how effectively there's a dozen levels of local government that draw from that one source, which makes it even more complicated. But there was discussion about the rally on Monday. So,
what did they say?
We need
you to be specific, Brad.
Yeah. Where has the chamber been on this? Because they've been silencio for the most part, and it's like, why aren't you guys out supporting lower taxes for people? Where are these chambers?
So they're there. I think they're watching it just because if there is property tax relief, depending on how it's done, if there's property tax relief on homeowners, then that shifts the burden over to business. And so I think that probably it's a little bit of a wait and see just to see what they come up with, because the one thing that seemed to be pretty evident was that what got passed over to the House is probably not what's going to come back over to the Senate. And they seem to think that some of that original language is going to come back in.
This is what I don't understand, though, Brad, is the anger should be at the government because they've created this convoluted, screwed up system where you've got to screw somebody to help somebody. And it's like the chamber could have such a voice in this and be so impactful on this. And I don't feel like you said, they're kind of like, well, we better see what happens. We don't want our businesses to get screwed. And it's like, why aren't we all leading in this horrible, rotten local government system that is screwing people by design?
Yes. Well, in a perfect world, there would not be property taxes, but then that begats the question of, what do you replace it with, and how much can you do without? And those are hard questions, and they're really just now, for the first time in a long time, starting to tackle those questions.
Yeah, that's a whole policy discussion, not just one specific bill.
Yeah, that's the point, and the chamber needs to be leading on that. Kloffenstein is our guest. He was at the chamber day at the State House yesterday. Hey, so you talked to the Kloffenstein talked to the Loffmillers guy. He's a big fan of what we're doing, right?
He is a big fan. He's a fan of the show. He is excited. Now, Rob, are we committed to going there on Monday afternoon?
I will go over there after the rally, yes, and I've got to call him because you said he wants to help us in some capacity, right?
Correct. So, yeah. So he said that you could make that the home base for operations after the rally. He is offering to he's offering to pick up the tax on all the food and beverages that our people purchase that day. So effectively, it's a 9% discount.
I love that. I love that. So let's reiterate that. So this guy is so into supporting us with this property tax rally. The guy who runs Loffmillers across the street from the State House has said, I will pick up the tax on all your purchases on the day of the rally.
Correct, which happens to be St. Patrick's Day. So I think it's a good day to come downtown. I'm really excited for the day.
We got to talk to him, Casey, about, and I'm going to run this by him. I'm going to call him later about putting a Scott Baldwin sucks sign out of the
get your bed sheet out the window.
See if I can do that.
Yeah, see if they have access upstairs. Hey, Brad, you mentioned that people were talking about the rally. What was the what were they saying? Was it good, bad?
It's interesting. Anybody who lives outside of the radius of WIBC was like, what? What are you guys talking about? Property taxes are an issue? Anybody inside of that radius was like, yeah, it's a big issue and some stuff's going to happen this year.
Well, and that's the challenge, right, Brad? Is that the property taxes have skyrocketed in the WIBC listening area. Let's just say it's a 20 county listening area has seen the majority of this, and the problem is you got to try to get these other people on board because to them it's not as big a deal because obviously with lack of population, et cetera, they haven't seen the skyrocketing prices that our listening area has seen.
Yeah, and that was a key part of the conversation, that it's the more affluent counties that have seen their property values go up are the ones that are really getting hit on this. And so, if you're a more rural county that has more stable property values, that's not something that's necessarily on their radar. And then another part of that conversation was, unfortunately, no matter what the legislature comes up with this year, you won't see it on your property tax bill until more than a year from now.
Yeah.
So whatever they come up with is not going to be immediate relief.
What was the most impactful part of your day, Chamber Day at the State House?
We wrapped up the day. We did a reception over at the Indiana Roof. Governor Braun was there. Actually, there were a lot of, I would say, maybe a quarter of the legislature was there. I saw Elise Mishala. She was there. There were a lot of heavy hitters there, but it was a good opportunity to kind of rub elbows, and it was a nice mix of business leaders, chamber people, and then government officials. So you ended up having the opportunity to have good, meaningful conversations and maybe a little bit more of a relaxed atmosphere. So I probably enjoyed that the most.
Brad, you're the guy that everybody wants to rub elbows with you. Please, you're too modest. You're too modest.
Hey, Monday afternoon.
That's right. We'll see you Monday. Kloffenstein, you're the best. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Eliminating race-based outcomes when it comes to science. I'm John Herrick, and this report is brought to you by Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 11:30. That's the focus of one of the executive orders signed by Indiana Governor Mike Braun this morning. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Some states have environmental justice programs that make decisions based on race and politics, but Braun's order says Indiana won't go down that path. He says policies like that hurt the economy. An example of environmental justice would be a community of color living near a polluting factory that might face health problems. Braun's order says he'll keep Indiana focused on protecting the environment without all the politics and red tape. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the Big Ten tournament gets underway at 3:30 today at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Dents happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster, too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center by offering the expert, compassionate care you need.
When I was at my lowest, I would have 2 or 3 nurses come in to give me a pep talk, telling me it's okay to feel this way. It's normal, but you have us to support you and you will get through this.
Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
From a fast break to recovery, Indiana hospitals are here for every Hoosier, regardless of their ability to pay. That's why we're teaming up with legislators on a winning playbook to lower costs and protect access to care across our communities. Because good policy doesn't leave anyone on the sidelines. Learn more at HoosierLifeline.com.
Paid for by the Indiana Hospital Association.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Life Church, and we talk all the time about the amazing impact Life Church has had on my life and my family's life. And one of the things we love about Life Church is the sense of community when you attend there. At Life Church, you'll surround yourself with friendly people who love God and His Word. At Life Church, there are multiple opportunities to learn, connect, and grow in your faith by immersing yourself in a godly community. There's no better place than Life Church, where the truth of the Bible is the foundation of community. Life Church makes it super easy for you. Campuses all across central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Amazing online services and so much more. See it all for yourself online, lifechurchin.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
One of the real advantages that we have here at Hendricks is the scope of the services that we have to offer in orthopedics.
Whether they have a hip fracture or they're a high-functioning athlete, we're all working towards the same thing.
To have them be able to have an elective surgery safely and then go home also in a safe fashion is of utmost importance.
We very much want everyone to get back to doing everything that they're doing beforehand. We're really invested in it.
Unstoppable orthopedic care. Learn more at hendricks.org/ortho.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 317-480-4040.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
Okay, so this is interesting. I've got data on mortgage rates. This is a conversation we had a couple segments ago. We were talking about the history of mortgage rates in this country. And I got not only a detailed U.S. average, but Indiana.
Oh, great.
Over time from the years 2000 to 2018.
Okay.
Because we were, we got on this because I said it's ridiculous that people are acting as though a 6.6,
6.63.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mortgage rate is some sort of debilitating thing to a productive, thriving economy.
Well, I had mentioned that the Fed may have a hard time. They may struggle to lower interest rates now with inflation increasing.
You shouldn't want that because anytime you have to keep an economy afloat based on diluted interest rates, I mean, that's the tax increase because that's an inflation driver. And the reality is, I said, we've gotten a conversation. I said, if you look at where interest rates are now, it's ridiculous that these politicians are acting as though it's some sort of hindrance to the economy as a collective based on historical trends. And I found SoFi has a list of what interest rates were, not just in the U.S., but in Indiana from 2000 to 2018. Now, historically, we reached a high point, if you go back from this is 82, bank rate has an 82 to 2025. In 1982 was 16.06%.
Wow.
Was your total. That's obviously that is a hindrance to the economy. We're not anywhere near that. But in the state of Indiana, in 2000, it was 8.13%. Now, We were told pre 9/11 the Clinton economy was the greatest economy in the history of the world, right? Unemployment was basically at zero. Everybody had help wanted signs out. We were told how great the Clinton economy was. The interest rate, was this a 30-year interest rate, was 8.13% in 2000. So clearly that wasn't a hindrance to a great economy.
Okay, but I know it went lower.
It did
during the Bush administration. Probably around 2006. It had to have been down by closer to 4%.
It was, according to SoFi, in 2010, it was 5.01. Now, obviously, different people can get different rates based on their
credit
average.
Score,
credit score, ability to pay, price of the home, et cetera. It's all factored into this.
Yeah.
The low point was 2012 in Indiana, which was 3.71%.
Yes. I remember that because when we bought our house, I think, I don't know, our rate was somewhere between 4 and 5%. And then in 2012, we refinanced because it dipped down to like 3%. And we were very excited that we had that locked in.
Well, and if you remember, one of the responses to 9/11 was an interest rate cut. And if you look at the trend in Indiana, it went from 8.3 in 2000 down to 7 in 2001, 6.67 in 22, and 5.97 in 2003. And then it remained relatively steady. And I remember at the time, all this, because I worked construction crew at summer after my freshman year in college, and we were building we were doing foundations, and we were doing foundations for homes that nobody had bought yet. And I remember thinking at the time, I was like, that's kind of weird that we're just building homes.
They were building spec houses for future subdivisions.
That would become the housing crash a couple of years later. But my point in all this, even during the boom of 02, 03, 04, when all this construction was going on, you were at 6.67, 5.97, 5.89. So this is not, I mean, the idea that we are trying to pin a struggling economy on interest rates is ridiculous.
No, it's not the interest rate, but the problem is if you look, so that house that was, had a 3% interest rate, well, that's a great number compared to today. But even the numbers that you're saying of the past, okay, similar to what you have now, but the houses are $100,000, $200,000 more expensive for the same square footage.
And that was caused by
the problem.
And that was caused by what?
What? The inflation,
cutting interest rates. Housing prices went up because money was 2%. People were like, it's free money. I can pay whatever for this house. It doesn't matter. The government caused it.
It's also the cost of the goods, though. Now, if you listen to some people, you're going to say it was supply chain issues.
But the cost of the house, people were buying houses during COVID because the interest rates were nothing. These corporations were coming in and buying these houses during COVID and driving up prices because they could get money for next to nothing. That's how all these neighborhoods became rental neighborhoods. The government caused all of this, and we keep looking to the government for some sort of solution. The same way in 2008. Again, why was there a housing crisis? Because banks were incentivized or mandated in some cases to put people into loans that they couldn't pay. The banks knew what they had. They knew they had a time bomb on their hands. They were repackaging these loans, giving them to everybody who would take them, and they kept happening until somebody got caught holding the bag. I don't know why we always look to government as some sort of answer when they cause every single one of these problems. I would like my money to matter. I like the fact that if my money is in the bank, that it can draw interest, that it can be worth something. I don't want interest rates to be at 3% or even 4%. I want money to matter, and our money doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so by the way, the low point was 2012 at 3.71%. The high point post 9/11 was 6.67 in 2006.
So you're still talking about 20 years, a 20-year span.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all in the fours.
What was the high point? 6 point what?
6.67 in 2006.
Okay, so that's where we're at right now.
Right. And everything seemed to be working just fine. But you are correct, Casey. Now the double whammy is people can't afford the home, period, certainly with the interest rate, because we spiked the prices of homes because the government manipulated money.
That's the problem. It's that the houses are too expensive. It's not the rate.
And I'm not sitting here telling you what the answer to this is because I don't have it, because you can't. The other problem is people can't sell the home now because the bank's not going to let you eat the money. So unless you can find somebody who can pay what was a $300,000 home, what you paid $400,000 for, unless you can find somebody willing to pay that at 6.67 6, 7, or whatever it is, what you paid at 2.5, you're
Right.
screwed.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
Doesn't matter to somebody like me because I'm in the home I'm going to be in, or I'm next to the home I'm going to be in for the remainder of my days, right? Doesn't matter to somebody like me. I got in great. I got in low. I'm a winner in this. But if you're somebody who wants to move, you're a big loser.
It's trouble, right? Yeah. So you're in the house that you're going to be in for a while. You might have to add on. You might have to add on to the house.
No, my neighbor's got a bunch of empty rooms.
Can you tell people to go live next door? Hey, Abdul's going to join us next. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show 3 o'clock this afternoon. Tony Kennett will join us. Also, more Hammer and Nigel Records Madness. 93 WIBC.
Spring showers might bring flowers, but they can also bring roof leaks. Strong winds, heavy rain can expose hidden damage, leading to costly water issues inside your home. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Water can seep into your attic, walls, and insulation, causing mold, rot, and expensive structural damage. The good news? Moss Roofing. They offer free inspections. Whether it's a small leak or a big roofing concern, their expert team will assess the damage and provide reliable, cost-effective solutions. With over 35 years of experience, Moss Roofing knows how to protect your home from the unpredictable spring weather. Don't wait for a minor drip to turn into a major repair. For top-notch roofing services, trust Moss Roofing to keep you dry this spring. For a job done right every single time, visit mossroofing.com. Call 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665 or go online to Moss Roofing. MOSS. mossroofing.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know, that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. When your garage floor has stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your whole garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job looks even worse. Look, spring will be here on March 20th. For your best price of the year on your new garage floor, basement, or patio and installation this spring, please call me now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Guaranteed, a Comer & Cross concrete floor coating won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. In one day, we make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. And apply your gleaming new Comer & Cross concrete floor in 6 stages, just in time for spring. For your best price of the year on your new garage floor, basement, or patio, and installation by spring, please call me now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Get ready for the concert event of the summer.
on the road again.
Catch Willie Nelson and family.
But there's a slow
Bob Dylan.
Sad as a slow train.
Sheryl Crow. And more at the Outlaw Music Festival's 10th anniversary tour, September 18th, Ruoff Music Center. Pre-sale for City Card members now through Thursday at 10 p.m. before the general public on sale Friday at 10 a.m. Get tickets at livenation.com.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, so the Democrats in Indiana are looking for a new path and a new leader. Will it make any difference? It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey's here. Look who it is. Hello.
Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome.
Author, broadcaster, provocateur Abdul-Hakim Shabazz. Good to see you. So the Democrats are picking their new chairman Saturday. Is that correct?
Yes, Democrats and Republicans are both picking their new statewide organization.
I thought the Republicans already picked their person.
They got one nominee, but it'll be official.
I see.
When State Central Committee meets.
I still got time to throw my name in the hat in the ring.
No, it's a little late to.
Oh, is it closed?
Yeah, it's closed.
Oh,
now. Sorry.
Well, that's too bad. Anyway, so the contested one is the Democrats, though, right? Lana Kiesling.
Yeah, Lana Kiesling is for the Republicans, and the Democrats have a number of candidates. They have Destiny Wells, former Secretary of State Attorney General candidate.
She's run multiple times.
No winning. Times. You got Dr. Valerie McRae.
Ran for Senate against Banks. Also no winning.
Who's running? And also, I forget who the third.
Talion is.
Yeah, Karen Talion.
What was she? She was a something, wasn't she?
She was a state senator from up in Portage, up in Lake County.
And then at least she did some winning. And then this Camp guy is sort of the darling of a lot of the money people, right?
He can raise money.
Derek Camp.
Derek Camp. He's Allen County County Council Commissioner, I believe it was, or he's related to Allen County. And so those are the four.
None of those names you stand out because McCormick was in it, and then she got out of it.
Yeah, but Jennifer McCormick got out. Then you got some also rans.
Okay, so do any of these people have the ability to step in there and go, here's our plan to make Democrats competitive, let's go? I mean, do we believe any of these people are going to make, because you and I have talked about this before, and Merritt and I have talked about this before, we need a better Democrat party because the Republicans don't fear these Democrats at all, and this way we get bad government from the Republicans. We need a better Democrat party.
I think they all have their respective plans on what they would do differently than's being done right now. I think when it comes to actually raising money, I think probably Camp has the best shot at doing it because Camp has raised lots of money in the past, and the state Democratic Party needs it because I found this out. I was doing some research on some things for the cheat sheet. When I ran for mayor in the 23 primary, I raised almost as much money as the Indiana Democratic Party.
Oh wow!
Did. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Ain't that a kick in the head?
Well, and so the problem with someone like Wells, I mean, I'm cheering for Wells because that would be a dumpster fire for 4 years, and that would be a lot of fun for us to cover. Also, she's lost so much. It would be nice to see her win something and see how she would do. But she's an agitator. And you're right. This next person's got to be able to raise some money to help these candidates across the state. Are we supposed to believe the money in the Democrat Party is going to listen to her and give her money? And I mean, that would be fun to watch that little dynamic.
As I put it mildly, Destiny has some personality issues. I mean, we get along really well. Don't get me wrong, but she has some personality issues and can kind of sort of rub people the wrong way. And when you're talking about raising money, a lot of it is, once again, it's about personal relationships.
Yeah.
Can I go to dinner with XYZ? Can we have a cocktail, or can we go have somewhere have coffee? That can separate you from your hard-earned money. And you're already uphill anyway because Democrats haven't had a statewide office holder since 2018.
Well, that's the reality of this game when we talk about whether it's county chairs. We talked about that last week on the Republican side in Marion County, or this race. It's one thing to be your own candidate. Like when I ran, I was my own candidate. But I could raise my own money, and I only had to raise a certain amount to where you get signs and all the other stuff out, right? We're not talking millions of dollars. But if you got to do something on a statewide or national-wide apparatus, you got to be able to speak the language and play the game because you need the money. And the reality is the people who have the money make the rules. He who holds the gold makes the rules, and most of the people who have the money tend to be more establishment-y, don't rock the boat. They got interest on both sides. They got their business people first before their politics. Those are the sort of people you're dealing with. You got to be able to speak their language.
Exactly. And if you can't speak, you had to be able to appeal to the donor class, the establishment class. And I realize as much as this ticks off the people on the ideological right and the progressive on the ideological left, like newsflash, money rules the roost. If you can't raise money, unless you're going to go to publicly funded campaigns, which ain't going to happen in my lifetime, or my niece's grandchildren's lifetime, for that matter, you got to play the game. And you got to go to the donor class and raise money, plain and simple.
All right, you and I are not the sort of guys to say we told you so, but
we told you so.
That's right. And I want to go back to that. We got into this with Merritt a little bit earlier, but that Senate Bill 1 hearing last week that took 9 hours. And at one point, a big part of this becomes this discussion. It was kind of instigated by Ed Delaney, where he's talking about how many local government entities there are in the state. It was something like more than 2,800. And then they get on this big thing about government consolidation in this hearing, to the point where at one point one of the state reps is like, this is a hearing about property tax reform. Can we just stay focused on that? Because we've been here a long time. But I'm sitting there watching this going, Abdul and I have been talking about this. Well, you longer than me, because I've been paying attention for 20 years. But for 20 years, you have been talking about, and 20 years ago, Mitch Daniels gave these people a document on how to do this, and none of them have acted. And now here we are all these years later, and they're like, the local governments, there's a lot of these people. We should consider doing something about this to save some money.
For example, why does a place like Marion County have 9 townships? In a nutshell, and 5 or 6 different fire departments these days, depending on how you do the math and where people are. Number 2, the other thing to keep in mind is when Mitch Daniels said you'll never know how much government you won't miss until it's gone.
That's right.
And that has always been my thing. For example, township fire departments. Okay. Or no, not even township fire departments. Let's look at schools. Because school consolidation is like the third rail.
Well, they laid out in this hearing, and I don't mean to cut you up, but they laid out in this hearing what a burden these fire territories are on the taxpayers too. The DLGF people clearly laid that out. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, because once again, I have the fire department here, but I also have the fire territory, and people in the territory and the fire department. Like, just have one countywide, fire department. If you got to do something for a special city, I get it, but still, there should be basic, in a nutshell, one county fire department. The same thing with school districts, and this is the third rail of Indiana politics, because what I have 2 school districts equal size, about 600, less than 1,000 students. I've got 2 superintendents for each school district. I got how many HR people, how many personnel people. We're talking about consolidating sort of the front office of everything, not necessarily the back office, because I understand schools have this special relationship, whatever. That's fine. But do I really need 4 superintendents when 1 superintendent will do?
That's right.
Do I really to pay 4 people anywhere from anywhere to $250,000 in salary and benefits? That's $1 million that can be saved, or $750,000 that can be saved to do something else.
Between these townships and these schools, the amount of money you could save. And again, Daniels and the Kern Shepard report laid this out years ago, and I just found it rich. The guys like Delaney's been there since the earth was young. He might have even been there when Kern Shepard was done. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. He's been there 20 years. Has he?
No, not 20 years, no.
Whatever. It doesn't matter, though. These people, they've known about this thing as long as they've been there. It's not like they don't know it exists. And now here we are, all these years later, back here, having this same discussion, and they're going to bitch and moan, but nobody's going to do anything about it. And then they're going to be like, I wonder why local government is so expensive.
It's the drunk uncle who always shows up at every Thanksgiving and gets hammered and acts a fool. And everybody complains about it, but no one confronts the drunk uncle.
That's right. You can find him. That's the perfect analogy for local government. A drunk uncle. You win the prize. You can find him at indiepolitics.org. Abdul-Hakim Shabazz, thank you.
Thank you.
And that is going to do it for us today. Thank you to Casey. Thank you to Kevin. And most importantly, thank you to you, the listener. Without you, there is no us. Stick around. Tony Katz coming up next. Kendall Casey Show.